to abiding within the government say for do, and indeed then people also now they don't stay safe. And they say they don't stay safe because we still they maintain 100% corona free districts. Well, sometimes somebody go say, but the government we don't report 6 cases then from Pusloko. Then cases then they actually then come out from the diaspora. As governments we don't take measures for control the border there before the corona they come. All the one way they come at the Salone, they pass through either Lunge International Airport or maybe from Guinea axis. So then people and when they come before then they close them borders, then they come quarantine them for 14 days, isolate them for 14 days, for observe them. So the 6 cases they all come out from there isolated places, then they way some they be there na Lunge, like at the airport hotel, and other one they be there na Buyas hotel. Inside these 2 days, of course, the people that don't continue for sure say them been get a bitter experience during Ebola for observe all the things that we actually the Hamburg or we Bambai go face can this corona so na this district Wasan, they get them social distance. Now people in fact more and more people that don't take up the face mask. So we believe say that's going to continue. For these 3 days as well, one for say everything they work well. The district health management team, Mary Stopes, and other organizations, we they see them and they mount speakers them, where then they go and talk to people them, now the streets there, now the host them, but waiting for do and waiting not for do. So all of the incidents also they work well yesterday na the second day. Also the other good thing that EDSA, where now the electricity distribution and supply authority, continue for give them lights even though not rationing, but at least then they give 10 hours lights every 24 hours. So it depends on how that get lights now you host. When you get forget that you own 10 hours day, but at least they get 5. Because then they give 10, but then they rational. Then also Salwaco themselves then do a very good job. People then we get access to tap water, then the pump and they open from yesterday, open around then 10 around say 7 o'clock. So people then they get water from their location and they see crowding at all. So also the police themselves I think say they get a very good time because I don't think see tension they for it at all, but they not take that for granted. They've been there all over for worker, for monitor, for ensure say everything they go well. And indeed, everything work well and protocol. As far as we concern, the monitor what they do, that's they for complaint boards as just as the first day yesterday. So today again, we continue for observe, and I also want to commend the well body of commanding when you go to the government hospital. No matter the time we go there, the staff then did it, the nurse then did it, security then did it. You see, so. And then gets the 3 hour, schedule them where then gets the one the way the nights, then get the one the way they early, then get the one the way they late. So all of them they work as then they do well. So one for commend the medical superintendents and also the matron, and they do a very good job at the government hospital and the other peripheral health units them. So far this now which we able for observe at the second day inside Putloko district. Mina John Abbas from Radio Bankasuka.
The program we listen na a special corona update where Sludge and the Independent Radio Network IRN they bring come to you for make you know about them where they happen all over the country during the 3 days lockdown. Well, from the western area rural district, they go now the northwest na Lunge. Usai we go talk to Dauda Cherno Jalo for the Galaxy Radio. We go tell we waiting happen in area yesterday.
Well, for the day 2 of the lockdown in Lunge Kafulom Chiefdom, well, for the latest updates, waiting happening regarding the 2, well, Kafulom Chiefdom still look cool and calm, and so far people did comply, even according to authorities themselves, with the before as far as security concerned. But though other issues can come up, we happen and positive things and they will happen, but other things and they self will happen inside the day 2. We people begin raise some concern and doubts regarding about the community in Akavulom Children. But for the positive thing that will happen, among 18 confirmed cases, we begin at the treatment center and at the Lungi government hospital, who said they make the treatment center, then divide the hospital and make a treatment center. Well, they don't discharge a total of 10 people, 10 people who don't recover from the corona virus. Well, then people are, of course, on Sunday, who side they don't left and who side don't discharge another 4. When I latest one them, among them 3 women them and 1 man, where they don't discharge them. And of course, on Saturday, the eve to the lockdown, they may discharge also another 5, including 2 picking and self, we also they may discharge. Well, according to the medical superintendent, he say they don't recover about, see the one who will recover from the sick now, 10 people so far don't recover from the sick. According to him, he say these success all they come out because of is it because of a teamwork together with him, some of his staff them so far we don't know they don't come for able to say they all engage for able to administer treatment to them people there. But inside that particular, after we them get for discharge, then people that will recover from the sick, well, in an interview them, then of course they express thanks and appreciation, and they only commend the Lungi government hospital, especially the medical doctor together with the team, regarding the reception we then give them, doing why then they will take their treatment. But according to the CHO, CHO Kefala, we and one of the strong people that together nurse, Juana to M. Kamara, we then at the treatment center. They say though challenge and they say because then people know most of the way then cow them. He say for me they accept it and get it sick. He say they're not being given for accept at all. He says so, and then things say more education need to be done to the people and for me people and no say despite they not be show any sign, despite not show signs and symptoms. He say but if they test you then find out you get the sick. He say the virus. He say so if I accept that in a very good faith. He say so that this deadly disease are not go come and overcome this country here. Well, for commodity also na Lungi, we see the some threats we know they come na Lungi according to the local unit commander, we na Superintendent Franklin Bawo. You see them in the work on intelligence where they get forget the eve to see just from Saturday. I see we them get see where some traders and one come for strike for cutting from Green, Maswila, and that of Lungi Tong, where in Adentra be identified. You see, of course, all people in the wait and see the name to them. You see, but you know, good disclosures for now. You see, but then through the help of the Parliament Chief Priest, Honorable Priest by Sheba the third, you see, we forget engagement together with the community stakeholders, them, see the other people, them. You see, so that one not be happening at all. As in to go, say, now that make this time around, you see, doing the lockdown, then set 3 checkpoint them, then set na Green, na Roti Funk, and also then set na the Freetown International Airport na the junction. You see for able to see how and they look at the routine patrol, joint force together with RS and even the police division at the Lungi International Airport division. You see so now they all be do the patrol team for able to say the community safe. You see boss and then find out so people then comply. Nobody not come out to say but that intelligence still they follow him. You see because according to Ram, when Abiaka waiting and find out so far as a security expert them, they see the people and say not feel good because of the lockdown we then give them a short notice then give them, then we don't buy them, of course then perishable goods them for goods selling at home, then we don't have it, incident all being get for point because they stop them from Thursday, no agree for make no nothing good at home. You see as a result, see even the local boots not allow them for making good at home. We now something them don't assure them. You see so then see I no go down with them and then not being them don't lose plenty money. And see that one they see now make themselves they want show say they're not glad at all, no one accept the lockdown at all.
Well, that na Dauda Cherno Jalo for Galaxy Radio na Lunge BG send a report day for we. Well, from Lunge with the cross cam now na Freetown and na Western area urban. Usai we go talk to Lahai Jackson. We go report from Central Freetown for tell what happen na in area.
Well, for the central part of Freetown and the hilltop areas, there is not much different compared to the day one of the 3 days lockdown. the issue of compliance continue to be a key thing. Just like I said yesterday, that people really determined and then willing for still at their host, as they say, if not this go make the sick done at the country, then go help the government for make it done, because according to them the entire with this corona stuff na the country, because they not they see the business they run again and waiting there for do they need able for do them. And so if the government say for make we observe a 3 days lockdown, they not get alternative, then just get for abide by waiting the government say and fet for make this particular sick done na the country. Another thing again we observe that the movement of people in the evening hour of the lockdown be they in some areas, and they see people really they come up from one junction they go to another, even though the presence of security personnel be there around, but not be they see something like checking them outside they go, what did they go do, something like that. And so everybody be just there about your own business and some hours of the day yesterday. And so we see we are in and police officer and the soldier man them they coordinate people where they come down for Kanga water, because yesterday in the morning hour pump not be open, pump only open in the evening. And so for make sanity go day around them particular area, then they for make social distance go exist, that police and soldier them be there around inside, and they coordinate for bring sanity na them place than they. And so overall really people really ready for abide and comply by waiting the government they say. And so they observe the day in that quiet mood, listen to IRN, and then just then at the little injunction they observe the day. And so in the nutshell, compliance is key, and then people really determine for observe the day. Reporting for the central part of Freetown and the hilltop areas, new name Nalhai Jackson.
Plenty thanks to Lahai Jackson for that report day. Still with your update from the western area urban, now we dey go na the far east of the country, and we dey go na Kono, na the eastern region, for know wetin happen from where the lockdown don begin. We go now join Augusta Younger.
As today, the 5th of May 2020, happens to be the third and the final day of the 3 days lockdown, where His Excellency the President made on declared sometimes last week. Basically, inside Kono District, everything cool and everybody normal, and everybody they adhere to waiting His Excellency Bidon Pool come out last week. People describe this particular lockdown for being more effective and proactive than the previous 3 days lockdown where we don't get as a nation. The previous lockdown, we get some kind of a way where people be they joke, people not really take the thing serious, people they try for go around the number business, but this one different. Even like yesterday where some of the company happened for go, now some of the chief them they inside Kono district, even the villages them this 3 days lockdown, they listen. You know go see bike they pass, you know go see people they go about the normal business. Instead people and sit down and they host them. They listen to radio for give them updates on what thing they happen inside the district and the country as a whole. And yesterday, Sef Salwako, Big G Water, when they did 2 of the lockdown, go around help people with water, because some areas they where they suffer for get water, then give people the water. Well, basically this morning, when at the last day of the 3 days lockdown, is same way so self cool and calm. People and then they host them, they adhere to waiting the government be don't pull come out nado. Inside Kono district, everything normal, everything cool, as the district health management team together with the newly appointed district coordinator Kikana radio every evening for give updates on our Kono day. Well, so far people na the country go no say Kono up to now no record any case of COVID-19, and Kono cool and peaceful, and we continue for adhere to wait to the medical people and say for let we wash we and regularly let we avoid a crowd the area, let we not shake and let we just students in and listen. But what kids where people they talk about now the overcrowding, not the say market where they say the government and stakeholders for look into. For IIN Kono, na Augusta Grace Younger.
All right, from Kono, and that's now being Augusta Younger. We dey give you that report there. We dey go now na the southern region, and we go talk to Richard Guevara from Bo. We go tell we wetin dey happen na Bo district.
As we continue for the inside the lockdown Nabo, the compliance level really high because the police and the military don't employ strategies them with the work. But the people in Nabo look worried for their safety after we the EOC online list over 100 people as contact for the first index case. Some of the people with the inside this contact include relative them and medical worker them we been attached na Bo government hospital and the Bo children's hospital. But waiting again the worry the people na Jala Komboya chiefdom na that some of the relative them we go escort the index case na Freetown. Some of them will be the EPAM, we been the take am for put on a vehicle, we been the put on down, we be the attend to am, don't return back na the chiefdom, and when they return, the chiefdom authority them being quarantined them na one small place outside they been there. But as the result and confirmation being returned back say this case don't be declared positive, the one them we been there at the small quarantine center na Jala Komboya chiefdom being come out there and hide and go na different village them na that chiefdom. This don't worry the authority them na the chiefdom, and they don't call on the EOC for make them go and try for see how they go identify and pull out them people here. But the EOC be don't form a trip for make them go and see how best they go able for investigate and able for identify the line listed people The situation Abu still continue for day in topsy-turvy. We say some man get mixed feelings about whether the index case don't die or not. But the medical people they still continue for do their work and they try for advise people and above for make them take all precautions, make them continue for where they max them and make them continue for maintain the social distance. Public education and radio discussion programs don't be employed as a way for make them able for fight against some of the mixed feelings where they go inside Botong. For IRN/Corona Countdown, Richard Givaldi report from Bo.
Well, plenty thanks to Richard Ngevao for Radio News Song na Bo Wages Sender Report Day. Now from the south, we dey go na the north. And na Makeni na the northern region, Usa reporter Mohammed Papa Bangora for SLBC Makeni go report now.
Of course, day 2 of the 3 days lockdown are a very big success in Makeni as well. Wherein we don't go to plenty places, now the municipality of Makeni, they see a very huge compliance, inside day 2 as well. Nobody they come out, almost, na EOS. And of course, the only people the way they see them come out, now people that we get authority for come out, like the journalists, the security personnel, and also some other organization then, we including the Ministry of Social Welfare, we also the NACSA where they go about for distribute the money where they be allocate to vulnerable people through the government of Sierra Leone. Now they normally they see. But one good thing also the Ministry of Social Welfare and also some Soriat organization and they continue for carry on for feed the people where they in the street, especially the mentally ill people we not get address at all, we not get host. They always in the street. Then they also go for provide food for them people there. But NACSA also in the process of distributing the money where government allocate to them, then also they also carry on well na the municipality of Makeni. Well, of course, we say the National Commission for People with Disability and of course also with the Ministry of Social Welfare in collaboration with NACSA, they carry on with this process, and also the Makeni City Council. Well, outside Makeni as well, we know they get no problem. It also go to some communities them nearby the city of Makeni. Well, of course, problem no they at all. And Salwako also don't try them best that this trip will not get much complaint with regards to water business at all, And the only problem with people they mean face now, the day we been precede the lockdown, the heads are definitely plenty people that not be able to buy top up because at that time able to buy top up through orange money, and of course even the system been day down, so this be not make some people end up for the blackout because because as at now no sign no dey wey dem dey sell and nobody know the way they sell all side bank and lock, and even the one the way they sell na machine all lock. So this na be a very big problem for the people na Makenia. In the process of 3 days lockdown, waiting go only motivate you, encourage you, especially for the one that we get electricity. Now where you get lights, some man go stay home with him family, they watch film, and also Makenia one of the place them we hot. This na dry season still, a whole lot of people being raised that concern, but quite besides that, nothing, no other thing, no they at all. We they raise as a concern within the side that we reach, and the one of the commissioners for the Human Rights Commission, Abes, also they continue a observation at the municipality of Makeni. And of course for them, the two also na a very big success. And the three also, tomorrow we go move for go na Lunsar. For go observe, of course, how Lusar they carry on. Say Lusar now one side we be not report a major incident with regards to the riots where the youths them being caused at the place. So the commissioner Dr. Abes also they decide for move for go to that place stay. But overall the place quiet, no problem, nothing they go on everybody comply and all man say na host. Well, reporting for IRN, me na Muhammad Papa Bangura na Makini.
Alright, from Makeni, that's na Mohamed Papa Bangura, where be they give we that report there, and it work for SLBC Makeni. We they continue with this special Corona update program where they come to you from all the radio station them where they listen to. And this na Sludge and IRN they make this broadcast they reach you. Where they bring come to you the program this morning. My name na Khadija Bangura.
And me na Abubakar Kano. We will continue for bringing on more updates and of course real-time news and information for make sure say you get correct information from all over the country and I make they reach out. And Khadija, the radio stations, the simulcast and one way, as you know, na iron and strength, and from Freetown here, from Air Radio to Radio Democracy to Radio Universal Radio to Calion to the Radio 1J, plenty radio stations all over the country. I mean, we're not able to name all of them, and they all make sure say then they on the simulcast, and I think say this they just they show say. With the Independent Radio Network and Sludge, like we do for the Ebola, you always bring them positive results here whenever you get this merger and this kind of simulcast. Khadija.
So now for continue for listen, if you want to get accurate news, but waiting they happen during the 3 days lockdown, continue for listen to the radio station we're tuning into right now, as Sludge and Iron go give you accurate information what's waiting they happen. Of course, from where the lockdown been start on Sunday, we don't they bring come to an authority them from different people from different sector them where they can give you information, but waiting don't they happen so far all over the country as government President Bio been declared a 3 days lockdown. From data and evidence them ABK don't show say the virus they now na community level. We make we suppose for do waiting the well body will command them don't they say for do we for make sure say once we add them frequently, make sure say you avoid place that way crowdy, observe social distance. If you're gonna public mask up, we all know say not easy, even we as broadcaster them for consider for over
now too not be used to Ebola time will not be they do this kind of thing this kind of thing also, because I remember the Ebola tell we still do this kind coverage but not to tell you we'll get for cover we mouth, and it very difficult to let you cover your mouth and then you dey talk na mic, because each time where you breathe in, where you breathe out, so you will see the mask they can fasten at your mouth. But then now this for happen now, we know consider they tell people then for let they use mask, and then we know they use them, we know they set the example, people they watch on Facebook, pictures they go out. So I think say this not time way all Salome for just go by the rules, play by the rules, wear your mask like how mask up like how Khadija they say, wash you on, and observe this social distance. The doctor will tell you yesterday he say if you stretch your hand so, When they talk about social distance, like if una dey watch you on Facebook Live, una dey see say Khadija, they far away from me. You know, before this term, they present until all go they close and all that kind of thing there. But then, if you want to understand the social distance thing more, sometimes you can just stretch your hand for see the person where they next to you, so you not touch them. So then in a reasonable space, we go make yourself not effort prevent yourself. But Khadija, I'll talk about your experience driving to the station here, wait you to see, you know, go call a ghost town, but then this kind feeling, say, this not a normal thing. Then same street here, where at the drive through, so on side the way people then be they can then do them business, some are open shops, some are they want for going to office. But how you they feel leaving your home very early and then you they try for canal for can do this work here so?
ABK, to be honest with you, I'm not gonna say you they feel like you they drive through a ghost town. I just feel like say the level of compliance is really high, especially within we as citizens them for comply to within the authority, and they tell we say we need for close down Freetown and other places them all over the country for slow the spread, because the virus now movement of people now in they pull them from one point to another, and the level where don't reach so now I can say now it's scary because it don't reach to community transmission. You don't know other go get the virus, because some people and they know they show no symptom, but the virus they live within them. So if you sit down and you host, if you not get nothing for go do, you sit down and you host, and if you say you go come in contact with anybody, we go transfer the disease to you. So it timely for let everybody sit down and host. And again, I appeal to listeners them, if even the lockdown they done midnight today, if you know say you know to essential worker, you not get nothing for go do na streets, not go there, continue for stay at home, so that the well body will command them go able for do proper surveillance, contact tracing, and bring out all the one them we don't come in contact with the virus, so that they go able for isolate them, treat them, and then go recover from the virus.
Yeah. Khadija, Umar Fofana be post something on Facebook page where I find very interesting. I just want to read them out here. He say coronavirus hates discipline because it thrives on indiscipline. So please discipline yourself and end COVID-19. Wash your hands, keep your distance, and mask up in public. I mean, Umaru, they talk about discipline here.
Of course, discipline is the only thing and the way I believe they go up for reduce the spread. Discipline yourself. Not forget for what you earn. I can always say the wasan aspects are very important. Not say, oh, I don't just come on at this building, I don't wash me and walk back and not for wash me and again. If possible, after every 20 to 30 seconds, wash your hand, because you don't know what you go don't touch. The virus don't sit on your hand. You don't scratch your nose or you pass your hand your eye or waiting. Just make sure say you wash your hand frequently, use hand sanitizer. If possible, where you want to go out, wear your face mask, go do what you do, do what you can. The face mask again, I think na a challenge that day where if we forget the well body will command them. Now so need for the demonstrate to people them how for pull their face mask, because nowadays see some certain people and they take their face mask, they pass under their chin, where it's very unhealthy.
And the mask they can get out all the sweat where you don't sweat with under your chin, and then you wear them back.
There's some people again where they use this fabric face mask, then they take away them wear, then put inside them bag. Where them go some side again, pull them back, you wear them. You're not supposed for wear again without, wash them. Make sure say you, if na them medical mask here, just wear them one time. When you pull them, make sure say you take them off from your ear. You take them off again from your ear. No touch them, no make you finger they reach them. You dispose and you wash your hand. You go outside, they go away one for come again. Take new face mask. You wear them. I just believe say if we go through the procedure, them we go able for slow the spread of the virus.
Yeah. And if we join on, we fight this fight and try for win the fight, Then they mean say we go back to with normal activities or go back to the normal life will be the live because easy really restrictions here and there that kind of thing they for the cover you face all time some man na possibly too able say for the wear mask because some people then get this allergy where if you wear masks they will begin cough, you will begin sneeze and all that day. So let we do this in them way we for do so that we all go begin see we self like how we see we self. You go look at this and now you go hardly recognize her. Somebody they tell me say now they oh monga them now they own best term this say because because man and then you get them big mask them.
You dey see
They
person
get
wey
them
you
big
sabi
mask them.
ABK. You dey see person wey you sabi. You dey pass na street. You can nearly pass am by. You no even recognize and say, "Oh, this na ABK." Like
Yeah,
the whole thing just don't can turn wheat or something else. But you always
Interesting.
say,
Look, the executive producer in mask. I mean, with all due respect,
Dr. Soa.
yeah, Dr. Soy mask is unique. He said, Dr. Soy mask, if the virus here, I go balance am. Look, Ishmael side Ukanu, by under. Anyway, all right. We will continue with this program, this broadcast. Members say now Sludge and RN they bring you Corona updates, and we did on over 65 radio stations right across the country. And one for Telteng to Vopad na Waterloo, BBN Radio, CTN, Radio Montreal. All the radio stations, we're not going to name all of them. In fact, I make we try for bring them out as the reporter and they send the report then come inside. Of course, Radio Democracy we're at the hub now. Khadija, I think so we for move on because we get other report from the region.
All right, and also if they watch the live broadcast from Radio Democracy, the Facebook page, make sure say you drop your comment if you get question or if you get information where you want for let the authority the yeri. Drop them na the Radio Democracy Facebook page. We go read all on our comments them later on at the program. Well, we dey go back na the Northwest region and we dey go na Cambia. Usai we dey talk to Mohamed Dafe for tell we wetin be happen yesterday na Cambia.
Famula morning. Welcome to the 2 report from Cambia Amina Mohamed Dafe. Well, the 2 yesterday have been so good again. We move as a team, media, civil society, then other organizations like Focus 1000 and also Gold Sierra Leone and Maristops Sierra Leone for move and go before the IRN sensitization or coverage 7 to 8 o'clock. Gold Sierra Leone can engage the radio and do sensitization. Then call traditional healer, then call civil society, call other stakeholders and the youth. Then can discuss about the one and other things as mentioned. Then when our Gold Sierra Leone can be the sponsor that particular program day. From there we get for move and go to the border areas them. We will go to Sabuya then inside Bramaya Chiefdom. We Bramaya Chiefdom we get Boko Puros borders them. Inside that Sabuya in a Fotomboyin section, we will meet the section chief Pa Almami Mfausman Sila. We talk to them for tell and say how did the one been like and how it don't see how they work for CC then maintain the lockdown. He said no problem in section entirely they maintain the lockdown. Indeed against task force then at the village and also inside the border end they will go. We'll go na Tolokure na one border area junction where they go na Damba na side na crossing point. They also get other side na the Numakade, na other place will be say like can cross by foot and again other Bokoporos place and there we do sensitization day and also we observe about social distancing, then also about the lockdown and other things that we for do about washing hands, then also about sanitation we for always maintain always that they all we discuss and day and that all I think that we be say we see say success day in the form of task force they would they around the village system and they all vigilant for watch. From there the team go for move go na the Kukuna plateau when the 11 infantry plateau na Kukuna now they also at the border area the soldier man and they where they for man the entire porous border them. We meet with Lieutenant SM Joe, we talk with them and say a man and they on patrol and for reach now the place that we be say we don't get security. They do frequent patrol and they and for see what's in the happen there. From there the other point that we in man and they then deploy there in full force other place they win some porous place there we person the cross by foot or bike, then they work at the intermittently for see what they happen there. From there you say you don't engage the region chief, na Bramaya chief dom, for the Amadusila, then also you say you don't also talk to the paramount chief, na Kormaka chief dom, PC Kabasel the first, we just meet, you don't just come for harmonies on how then they maintain the lockdown, and then they all that thing they will be said and do, and they work they well, and they say then they try for CC we tell and say that only the border we will save can be district. If the border then save, then finally we will not get problem. From there, the team get for move, and we come back. Now, Tom Kolimba, we see task force, and they work hard on one. Then serve the team, the youth chairman, and also we get activists that we join civil society. Then also we get people that we sacrifice themselves, pull money, like former Councillor Jacob Conte and others, for go to the hardest reach area, then for see how best and go cover places them, with the villages that we focus and study, and also for see how they maintain the lockdown. From there, we see how we look at this state coverage. I talked to Mr. Mohamed Mustafa Dumbuya, the coordinator for District Emergency Operations Center. He said yesterday was cool and calm. Then at the day one and day two back, so no problem. Things will go normal and people they obey and you don't move in certain communities like Bama or other place them. You don't see how they go restore certain mishappening whatever happen like in the Bama area and police don't take care of them. The other things that will happen and say overall in the district they get good reports, no problem or they according to the district coordinator for fertility coronavirus in Cambia. Now this all happened yesterday in Cambia district. When the result and we see say we have achieved that result at the end of the day. Mina Mohamed Afi from Cambia.
All right, so they continue with the special corona updates where they come to you from all the radio stations them where they listen the program, and at the Independent Radio Network IRN and Sludge they bring this 3 days broadcast to you. And today na the last day of the 3 days corona special broadcast where they come to you from different radio stations them. Well, from the Northwest region na Cambia, Usai Mohamed Dafe been giving updates. But waiting be happen yesterday na Cambia district. So they come down at the studios and want for welcome the EOC spokesman, Wena Solomon Jamiru. Good morning, Mr. Jamiru, and welcome to the Sludge Iron Special Corona Update Program.
Good morning, 98.1, and good morning, me famble them.
All right. We don't get different updates them from authority them from where the 3 days lockdown been start on Sunday, and today na the final day of the lockdown. So many things them don't happen during the 3 days. But before we can look at some of the things that will happen or on our achievements during this 3 days lockdown, let we go back to some of the reason them. Let we remind listener them waiting exactly been prompt this action by His Excellency where he declare a 3 days lockdown through a nationwide broadcast we've been doing.
I tell you plenty thank you, and I want to use the opportunity for say thank you to IRN Sludge, because really what you want to do so for 48 hours now going to 70. Today we do the 3 days. We really don't send this message home, and I see a lot of people they listen to UNO, and we said they get the feedback na the COVID-19 national response. So I take the opportunity for say thank you to Sludge IRN and all the journalists and other people that they support you in the fight against COVID-19. So Khadija, I want to remind we famble again say with the fight coronavirus and all the countries then at the world they take the steps them we necessary for fight corona, including Salone. When President Bio be making address, we announced the 3 days lockdown. He used one word. I want to use that word there and just explain to we family. And I think say I be give that example now the last time. President Bio say evidence don't day, say we get what we call community transmission. I think I remember I be Sidonaya na 98.1, I think the first day of the lockdown, where I use some examples. Some man they call me, they laugh me, say, who's you pull that example there?
Oh, that check and
Akara and this. So let's say for example, Yabas gets coronavirus. The Yabas pass this coronavirus to Pepe. It means say when Pepe prove positive, you know say Pepe in coronavirus it gets them from Yabas. But let's say until 1 day or 2 days later, through surveillance, through testing, we can find out, say, mango and orange themselves don't get coronavirus. But the coronavirus where mango and orange don't get, you're not able for link them to pepper and yabas. The question is, who side them pull them? So anytime you find out, say, you don't begin get people in community, don't they get this coronavirus, but you're not able for link them to previous cases, the experts them, the advice we say, we don't begin get evidence of community transmission. So we realize say, about 90% or a little over 90% of the cases where we get, it epi-linked. It means say you go link them to previous cases, but you still get some cases where we call community transmission, where we're not able to link to previous cases, or people will not get any travel history. Now, experts that don't advise say, anytime you don't begin get evidence of community transmission, if you be there 60%, step up, scale up to 90%. So need be there for make we intensify this fight. And because of the nature of this sickness, what we don't find out say, now people they spread them. How people then they move, now so the virus they move. And when people them not they move at all, then stay one place, we find out say coronavirus not they get the opportunity for move. And so it be necessary for Lord to do this 3 days. But not only that, Khadija, the other reason is it give we an opportunity for do what we call line listing. So anytime we find out say positive cases they done in our communities, and especially like Western area, yeah, who don't consider for be hotspot, then they do what they call line listing. In other words, then they, if they don't get positive cases, then they list down all the people that we don't get contact with them positive case. Then they make sure say they, especially the primary contacts, then begin for put them in quarantine homes, and begin after the incubation period of 14 days, then test them. So during these 3 days, what thing we do, now that we make sure say they hotspot then they, we do a lot of what we call purposive testing. For look at their area then they, especially their households where they around positive cases and communities, do quite a good number of tests. So I'm glad for tell Famble they say, one of the things, perhaps it's premature now for begin talk about the gains, but one of the things, the activities where we really do in this 3 days lockdown, now for do a lot of them purposive testing, and also do a lot of contact tracing.
We obviously go talk about the gains before you left the studio, but the main essence for let His Excellency declare a 3 days lockdown now for do proper surveillance and contact tracing, because the virus don't reach now to the stage where the experts then say now a community transmission. Let we look at emerging issues before and during the lockdown. Before the lockdown, issues of people they run away now quarantine center, but don't they come up when a positive cases them. For example, case 90, where we bring so many concern from the public, or I can say fear from the public, because nobody know other than case 90. They're not going able for even help on the authority them for trace them. What is the present situation as to the investigation where they go on for case 90?
Okay, as an EOC, now very deep concern for we. Ufamble the member say, when this case 90 issue it come about because the surveillance began for lead we to the Pademba Road Correctional Facility. And when they do a test, it proved to be positive. So that was the first case where the Honorable Chief Justice be eventually declared in public notice, say inmates don't prove positive. Unfortunately, and as I say in 2 of 11 a.m. updates, this case 90 end up for escape. And as an EOC, we understand, say yes, the reason we make case 90 go na Pademba Road, now because na accused person, they don't go court, they remand them. But now that it don't prove positive, we concerned as an EOC. Because when we look at coronavirus, and we find out, say, they move from person to person, and a lot of the people them, where they get this coronavirus, they might not show the signs and symptoms, so anybody innocently can associate with them and end up forget the virus. We're concerned, because if case 90 continue for then at the community, and communities then, households, they're not watchful enough, they're not they take the precautions, case 90 is a danger going somewhere to happen. So we as an EOC, we don't talk and we don't challenge the security forces, and especially the police. Say case 90 for be addressed, and for make sure say we put them usa is supposed to put them. So as at yesterday, what would they do? We brainstorming on the issue. Up to the evening, what would they do? Evening assessment, and not get any confirmation. Say case 90 has been brought into the fold.
Suggestion don't they come out, Mr. Jamiu, from the public? Because as I stated earlier, for when you look at case 90 in history, not only the first and this they run away, and people concerned because na a positive case, they out there in the community them, the disease that already reach a community transmission. People they suggest say if we not go release the identity of case 90 for Apple now for fastly track and down.
Khadija, is a good point. That discussion they be done day on. But for we, really, as an EOC, you know, fall within with competence for DUAM because it's really a criminal justice issue. But that discussion they did on, and that has been strongly recommended. And we hope, and this is our candid advice, that the earlier the security forces take that line of action, the better for we. Because when somebody now, a person of concern to the criminal justice system, it just like if somebody is a pedophile, or you get them tendency then they in our communities, you know, once you picking for associate, you girl picking for associate with them, or you boy picking for associate with them. So we think say it's a criminal justice issue, but also a health hazard. And we did 100% in line with that, and we expect that the police should take the action they're supposed to take. I mean, this is something we have canvassed all throughout.
Because this is about saving lives.
You how know, the police go take action, Mr. Jamil? Now, don't already release relevant information like identity of case 90 to the police?
Well, that discussion they did on, and we expect them to take this a bit further. Because when this whole thing starts, even from yesterday, they get discussions, because we always they ask for briefing. The assurance is we don't intensify the search, and we will make sure say we get them as soon as possible. So we rely on the police as a professional institution. And EOC continues to work with them, and EOC continues to cooperate. But I agree with you. And really, Khadija, I can't, you know, even at this point, we believe, say, because of the health implications, as much as it is a criminal justice thing, we think, say, that is the proper line of action. Because, like what you say, water don't pass Gary. And the more you delay these things, it continues to have wider implications for society.
And the other thing we'll remember and say, we not even know this person in the state of, in mental state. We don't know who that be. Because for let somebody just say run away like that, as you forget I my sneak, for all you know, sometimes a person is not full up. And if you left, I go continue for go all over the place, and this is about saving lives. They come in contact with different people then. So now I make the public they call for prompt action. How soon we go see say this man and don't put it under control?
You're right. There was a time when, and as you talk about the psychiatric case, me not able to establish whether he get a psychiatric case or not. But as you talk, so it just reminds me of a time where there was a fugitive, Jebin Kong. The man be escaped from one facility in Toronto, and eventually they realized the man gets a psychiatric history. I don't know what's in the pattern relating to case 90. But I think we all agree, say, this man is a danger going somewhere to happen. But because it's a criminal justice thing, and but as an EOC, because of the health implications, we think, say, the earlier they're able to track this man and bring them back, the better for all of us.
All right.
And I agree with you on that 100%.
Okay, now let me come and talk about waiting the EOC, waiting the country that achieved so far for the past 2 days.
Well, first of all, ABK, we want for, first, I think it's important for generally commend Sierra Leoneans. I say so because, and I will give you our example. When the first day of the lockdown, I decided for go work on a Locust. Locust is one of the places where you get quarantine home. I decided, say, let myself just move about and see what thing they happen. And I go to one quarantine home, and I talk to one of the people, and the person, he watch me. He say, Mr. Spokesman, we don't dare me and our family, we don't pass 14 days. We got a security personnel we deployed at the entrance of our house. None of we know the cough. None of we know the sneeze. Me head know the heart. We're all active, we're all strong. Why are you people keeping us here? So, at first go, you they get numb. And especially when somebody is talking to you and that person's desperately they're in need of help. First, we therefore take time for explain to the person waiting at the nature of this disease. Yes? Not to say you get for getting signs and symptoms before you convince yourself say you get coronavirus. We therefore explain to and say we get what we call asymptomatic carriers. You don't need to forget the signs and symptoms, but you get them. And you go pass them to other person. So what we were able to achieve for these 3 days, and as I say, the assessment will continue until 72 hours. Now that the fact that people stay at home, generally, we're able for slow or stop the spread of transmission. Generally, that's a very huge achievement. Because anytime ABK, if you have, like for example, 50 positive cases in the communities moving about, and you get some people, no matter what you say, they are still recalcitrant. Some man are because of unbelief. They still they associate with others. So imagine 50 people go into communities, and then 50 people and they associate with sometimes 20, 30, 50 people, multiply that number there. So it means that we challenges they expand. But whenever people then stay, and we know it's a difficult thing, it help we for achieve slowing or stopping the spread of the transmission.
Also, they talk about achievements, Mr. Jamiru. Let me look at the issue of His Excellency. We just don't complete in 14 days isolation period here in family where them we go through after we one of in workman them been test positive of the COVID. As to Sunday during 11 o'clock updates on the EOC, a colleague, Amadou Lamana of AYVB, asked a question, say, if His Excellency been tested after in isolation, and the Professor Fodisabi say His Excellency in a secondary case, not supposed for test, I believe, say, back within that update day. Then yesterday, we see outside the press secretary in a state house say, His Excellency test after in isolation, and the results been come out negative. Their explanation and they be kind of confusing. You can just throw light, let the public understand when exactly His Excellency been tested and when in test results been come.
Okay, thank you very much. So first of all, make us say thank you to Sierra Leoneans because of we prayers and we best wishes to His Excellency. And I'm glad if I tell we family and say His Excellency the President continue for be fine and he continue for lead the fight against coronavirus. Brigadier Professor Fodisa not be the out of order at all. Brigadier Fodisa simply speak to within the protocol on testing. And he establish them and he say, according to the protocol on testing, you test primary contacts. You don't test secondary contacts. But if secondary contacts don't begin show signs or symptoms of the virus, that may trigger testing. HE, the President, not show any signs, not show any symptoms of COVID-19. But just the same way as a leader, he decide for set an example and do a self-isolation, he consider, say, in the public interest, and because huge concern and controversy don't be around this, he did a test. He opted to do the test. And we're glad he say that test today proved negative. So I think so we fumbled and don't understand, say, when it comes to testing, not only protocol for test secondary contact, the protocol is to test primary contact, and HE is not a primary contact. But he opt now for do a test, and the test proved negative.
Voluntarily.
And we think, say,
voluntarily.
yes, voluntarily.
Okay.
And we think, say, that's a very good thing.
When
and,
exactly then conduct the test?
Well, the incubation period now 14 days. So after the 14 days, the test was done.
When they do,
and that is the protocol. I'm not going to give you a specific time when it do them, but according to the protocol, you do them after the incubation period, and you do them after the incubation period.
All right, let me look at another issues then where don't they come out during the 3 days lockdown. It gets for do with information. dissemination, especially the way they come out from the EOC, and how promptly the workman them, especially the one that they do surveillance and contact tracing, they go in a community them where they can call them. But we don't get concerned them as to how swiftly on our workman them they respond to calls from the community. How I don't try for address the issues then they.
That's an important thing, and myself, we say within our EOC, we can get some of them concerns then they. And I will give you an example. Yesterday, somebody called me say there is a lady at Connaught Hospital where we get issue with one of the people that we don't prove positive. And they don't try for call 117, but the line seems to be clogged. As soon as they call me, I make sure say I contact somebody directly in our EOC, and then get for go Connaught and then get the lady out. I also get a call about somebody will be doing around the Waterloo police station. That was as late as 12 midnight. I make sure say I call the coordinator for Western Area Rural, and he rushed to the Waterloo police station, and then therefore make sure say they help the person to the Jue Center. So indeed, and we continue for tell with humble and say, you know, it's like any electronic device, it's like any technology. Once you pound the technology with calls and demands, sometimes it clogs. Just like what happened in America, where they roll out compensation for the employees. You find out say hundreds of thousands not be able to access the system because the system was a bit clogged. So it can happen with technology. But I want to assure we fumble and say, sometimes, yes, because of the number of calls, they are so overwhelming, we can get the isolated cases where sometimes they might not respond to you in time, but as a system and as an institution, we're concerned. So even we say, even though we are not part of the 117 calls, but when people reach out to we find out say we all they work as one for make sure say we address people their concerns as and when they come.
The country don't record the first death of a medical personnel during the fight against the COVID. We don't see now Usai well body workman them, although some challenges they be there earlier, but some of them don't come now fully on board the fight. But all of a sudden they can lose one padayon when a health personnel. What does this mean towards the fight against COVID? You get anything for demotivate the health workers them from our observation so far?
So thank you, Khadija. First of all, make on behalf of the EOC, make in soul rest in perfect peace, and we continue for reach out to the bereaved family, for say Osh, and continue for say thank you to we healthcare professionals, because then they make a very huge sacrifice. This case where we lost, we fumbled the member say when we announced the index case for Bo, now this community health officer, about 59 years, where we lost. And for we, it mean a lot. You know, Khadija, when we go back to Ebola, we get over 8,000 cases. We lost slightly over 3,000 people. We include 221 healthcare workers. So when we think about what happened during Ebola and the loss of their healthcare workers, we believe, say, as a society, each time it happens, we mourn. People who were in at the front line, and that is why we always call on people, Sierra Leoneans, generally, that we continue for show love and care and affection to the healthcare workers, because then they sacrifice so much. As a government, we try as best as possible for roll out a scheme, an incentive scheme, for doctors, for pharmacists, for nurses, for community health officers. We also include life insurance for them. Sometimes the argument don't start now, say, when this corona done, sometimes we for begin for member for do a life insurance scheme for them, let it be a continuity. The reason we make we think about all of this, not because we believe, say, healthcare workers more important than any other person, but this one, now a public health emergency, and by the very nature of its description, healthcare workers are at the front and at the center. So this person will die as an EOC, and I believe, say, as a country, we all mourn, we all feel that it happened. But this they make also people they understand how close them people they are they, how directly involved they are in the fight against COVID-19. And for somebody for loss in life, as a healthcare worker, we are concerned with the monam, and this they tell we say, then deserve we love more. And all over the country, nurses, doctors, you name them, then they pay a huge sacrifice, and we only go continue for tell them thank you for this one. And as soon as that issue did happen, for the Bow Index case, they don't do a lot of line listing, they don't categorize, they do contact tracing.
Because now
over 100 people.
Ask,
oh, yes.
now that I just want to ask Mr. Jamiu, where you look at the history of the Bow Index case, we don't die now, now a medical practitioner, you don't come in contact with so many people. How far will the contact trace? How many people are not able to get hold of, and how not don't quarantine them?
Thank you. So anytime you get a positive case, you first of all, they do what we call line listing. You list all your contacts. Then you categorize now, primary, secondary, and make sure say you contact trace. I want for assure we fumbled and say, as far as the Bow case concerned, a lot of that contact tracing they don't go on, and we institute the normal quarantine measure, and make sure say we isolate at the end of the day when the testing don't occur. But like the Bow case, just like any other case where they happen at the country, anytime you get a positive case, we get concerned, but we get the experts. We're very swift for moving to action and make sure say they do the necessary contact tracing, and then they include Bow as well.
Okay, let's talk about challenges. You know, the other day we get some information from Kerema, say the quarantine center, some challenges been there, and the place not being properly taken care of. And of course, they talk to the coordinators and reporter, then they talk about challenge for logistics here and there. So within the other challenges we inner self don't observe, and how one they try for addressing challenger?
Yeah, you know, ABK, with coronavirus, no matter how hard you plan, no matter how hard you mobilize resources, the very nature of the pandemic, they make sure say it gets your system overwhelmed. And this is what coronavirus is. And we know country like Salone, not like other countries where you go say economically things were okay, you get abundant resources for deploy. We not get, when this whole thing starts, we begin for the scramble for the limited test kits way day. We get for scramble for get ventilators. So in terms of logistics, this exercise about corona gets massive financial implications. Even the quarantine. Imagine if sometimes you don't set up 2 or 3 quarantine homes. Sometimes in a particular district, sometimes you don't get one. By the time you get a second case in another community, sometimes where the contact trace alone, sometimes that day they lead you to 100 or over. So imagine the number of people that we get for the bring into quarantine facilities, sometimes on a daily basis, sometimes after 48 hours. So even when you plan and you demobilize resources, the things will continue to happen. You really, really get for the pray to God. Say at some point this has to stop. Because even when you don't, because you know, say when the way government budgets they operate, you don't prioritize. You don't do your budget, you don't structure them according to the activities of ministries, departments, agencies. Now for the Ministry of Health alone, the allocation where they don't put for them, now they get for devote all of this to COVID. What is supposed to go to other ministries, departments, and agencies, now you get for direct them to COVID. So it is huge. The logistical implication alone is huge. You get for get boku motokadem. So we're really overwhelmed. But this is a priority for government. When I go, as I talk, say where I go work on a low cost, you know, some man go tell you, say, this food we don't carry it for we today. The person they tell you, say, the rest safe, you know, it be so strong for charm. Then they go tell you, say, then they give 5 bread for day, but we want more. And really, anytime people then tell you, say, we want more, if really we had the type of economy, you would deliver more. But when you look at even the most advanced countries, the most economically powerful countries, then they weep in the face of coronavirus. and see how this thing don't challenge all systems of the world. You can only hope and pray that this does not continue. But really, in terms of financial implications, massive. In terms of the logistical arrangement, massive. But as a government, we think say this is a priority. And really what they encourage we, now the support they get from we people, the support they get from we international partners, the support they get from international NGOs, local NGOs, and even the support they get from people like you. People like you who talk about this without being told, without being given any money. You can use your studio time for take a time and talk about coronavirus. When HE appointed me as spokesperson for COVID-19, I just look around first and ask myself the question, who are the people I would have to count on for really make sure say are able for deliver on my mandate? And honestly, the thing where they encourage we, now when you look out and you are convinced that you have people where they tap you back, where they tell you, say, we dare behind you. This fight is for all of us. And really, as a government, now that's not the encouragement.
So let's talk about the success, the general successes so far we don't score at this fete. Yeah.
So if we're going to talk about the success, we're going to match them with the objectives for, first of all, the emergency measures generally, and now the 3 days lockdown. So we Constitution, now Section 29 don't say, when you get something like this, you know, where they threaten the health of the public, where you get like a calamity, where they threaten the health of a public, president can declare a public state of emergency. Now, so we found out and look back, say this whole thing starts now China, till it don't spread to almost all countries, a kind of salon. We be need for take the right measures for fight coronavirus. And when you look back, one of the things we as a country we do, where we believe say, that be a very appropriate step and something that done they don't they cushion the effect of corona, that the fact say we close with points of entry early, including the Lunge International Airport. Now the fact say we are one of the countries where we start what we call contact tracing. You get some place, you can even get test positive, you just stay at home. We don't see a lot of clips with celebrities, stars, they test positive, then voluntarily they put them out, but then they're not the host, and then you don't get engagement with the healthcare professionals. For we as a country, when you find out, say, a lot of people there in slums, when you find out, say, a lot of people, if you say stay at home, make a monitor you, sometimes if not then 20 days at that particular place, that positive case might end up infecting sometimes 5 or 10 more, because sometimes that lack of discipline for just adhere to the precautionary measures. So when you see a lot, when you see say this, we take the quarantine homes a priority. Now because from evidence, we don't know say it's easy for manage people from established quarantine homes. You're able for do your surveillance than when they operate from home. If you look at the general compliance, even for the mask system, not to everybody they use mask, and we still continue for the talk to people that say it's important for use mask. But when you travel, you go to different places in the country, you see evidence of compliance. We may not be there 100%, but the fact say you use your mask, if you get coronavirus, you know they spread onto other person. If other person get coronavirus, it not go spread onto you because you wear your mask. So you see compliance. You find out so when you go to different public and private institutions and different communities, people that still, you get them rubber bucket to them put, people then they wash hand on a daily basis, people get their hands sanitized and at their pocket. When you see them things that they happen, you see social distancing. When we go from district to district for what we call media monitoring, you enter some hall, the way they position the chairs, you know say, okay, in this district council, there is evidence of compliance with social distancing. So all that they give you hope say, the message they go and people they comply. For the 3 days lockdown, it is not perfect. We still they get concerns about some communities where community enforcement of the lockdown, they still get some lapses in some areas. Because the difficulty, Khadija, is this person don't they live a normal life. If they go out on a daily basis, so if they go out to spend 8 hours, how all of a sudden you get to tell this person, say, stay home, don't move, a very difficult. And at that difficulty day, now we can able for recognize, say yes, but also talk to Ufambul and say, dear, make we all go through this difficult period so that we can able for address this disease once and for all.
All right, now we look at the impact. Not so secret again, say the virus then at the community them. We make His Excellency being declared the 3 days lockdown. But so many people them where His Excellency be don't talk, they say the 3 days lockdown not go enough for do this contact tracing where the well body workman and say they want for do and do proper surveillance. The 3 days lockdown not go enough. Now the country they end the 3 days lockdown today. What are the impact where the well body workman them don't make in terms of reducing the spread of the virus, especially now where it in a community level?
Okay, so now with evidence of community transmission, the fact say people stay at home, it means say we they stop or slow the spread of the transmission in communities. So take for example of take we markets. If you look the way we market system structure, if you look the way we public transportation system structured, before the guidelines, when it says for example keke for take 2 bien, some man they put 3, some man go put 4, Puda then go choke themselves. And up till now, even with those guidelines, you still they get some lapses in some communities. So if we not be put to the stay at home, imagine if you get people that will get the coronavirus and they move in communities, in marketplaces, in public transportation. Imagine almost people that they infect on a daily basis. The stay at home help with for slow or for stop the spread. That's one. But also, it give we experts the opportunity for do what we call purposive testing. The hotspots in our western area, we experts that are able for go into them communities and do a lot of samples for do them test there. Where if people be the move about, it will be extremely difficult. But then contact tracing what they talk about, the testing what they talk about, in order for stop number for this 3 days lockdown, now a continuous exercise. But when people stay at home for 72 hours, it help we expert them for able for reach them. Because once you don't able for know the addresses, and you don't able for identify hotspots, you're able for go there, you're able for meet people them in their homes, you're able for conveniently take your swabs.
Now they get updates every day from the experts them, from where the lockdown been starts as to how they don't go in a community, they don't able for do contact tracing, they don't quarantine certain people them. It don't reach to that point where the expert they don't update on the EOCC. The 3 days lockdown really make a difference in the fight?
Well, I go really step out of order if I if I say something definitively
just for
at this point.
Of people them as to how the virus they spread. The country they register new cases them every day. So it go fear again to the people they own they serve for let them get a word of like reassurance. Say as a country we are making progress and we're optimistic so they win this common enemy where they are among we now.
No, that is a fact. That is a fact. Salone don't do so much, and we glad to say with people then they cooperate. And I go tell with Famble and say, for this lockdown, we did at the 3rd day, the EOC don't do so much. But at this point, it go premature for talk about the gains until we don't assess the entire 3 days and talk about them. Because I know one for hot protocols and experts then say no go forgive me at this point. But I want for let we Famble then no say for the 3 days. Oh, the Sidona also, as an EOC, we don't able to move out, we don't do contact tracing, we don't do a lot of sampling, and we think we'll not be able to achieve this if we not be institute the lockdown.
All right.
Okay, all right. If you just tune in, members say this now simulcast with the Sierra Leone Association of Journalists and IRN, the Independent Radio Network, they bring come to you. With we in the studio now, we get the spokesman for the COVID-19 response team, Solomon Jamiro Esquire. He there for tell we more about how these feds don't they carry on. And I know Yourself there out there, you have to ask question. Send your question to the number 0779819181. 0779819181, and you can also visit we Facebook page and send your comments and questions on www.radiodemocracy.sl, where they come to you courtesy of Osiwa and AfriCell. In fact, some messages don't begin coming inside, and we'll go begin take them straight away.
Okay, ABK, we dey go now with text line and look at few messages them we don't come, and we go read from our Facebook page also. The first one I go take from Radio Democracy Facebook page. They come out from Tony Ture Jones. They say, congratulations Solo, but please let the use of mask be compulsory. There is a 2-year upwards. You have to mask up, otherwise you will be fined $300 from the 6th of this month.
This message they say, why una no go pull case 90 in picture na do make we help for identify them.
From Nancy Kabia, our Facebook page again, it say there should be a national memorial and commemoration day to be observed every year for the beautiful souls lost to the Ebola and now the coronavirus.
This message is say, on a good morning, we believe say, then don't block all the points them, but usai we they pull case them now.
Whose friend Kamara na Facebook, they say, Mr. Jamiru, please continue to embark on robust measures to activate the awareness of the community endemic of this invisible enemy COVID-19 now that the containment phase has.
All right. Let me take the other message where they say, is it true that the lockdown is going to continue? Please confirm.
Kemom Ansare na Facebook, they say, is there any quality control of the COVID-19 test kits in place that ensure that results do not show false positive or false negative? In Tanzania, the National Referral Laboratory is said to be using the faculty COVID-19 test kit that give positive results to anyone. In Freetown, everybody taken to the holding center at Connaught were eventually tested positive. Sierra Leone was way behind Senegal, the Gambia and Liberia. Now we have overtaken all these countries in terms of confirmed positive cases. Can we verify the make and batch number of the test kit used?
All right. Well, Kemo, they follow religiously. In fact, he also sent on the regular text, so we'll skip an aya and come to the Facebook page. Ibrahim Kamara, they say, I want to know if locking down is another way to increase the number of confirmed cases. Look at Bo, the case increased. Bravo to Koidi City, it is say, for recording no case.
Fondai Mami, our Facebook page, they say this minister is very smart.
Oh yes, I see the same message here, and this one from Simba J. Cole. EOC should face a parliamentary committee to answer questions with regards case 90. Now, so Simba they say.
Komba Moses Bayo, na Facebook they say Solomon Jamiru every day reassures me he is a great communicator. His strength in his delivery lies not in praise singing, but driven by well-researched data. And I am not so generous with my branding of especially public officials.
All right, Joel Commander, they say, hello 98.1. I want to know if the 18 ventilators are being used.
This one from Alpha Usman Bangura, now Facebook page, and it will be the last one we take for now before we come back to the EOC spokesman. They say, God bless you, Mr. Spokesman. I like the way you are clearly explaining issues to the public. Continue to do the good work. I pretty know that it's very difficult to achieve good results in that country, but I can see you guys are doing your best. I wish you the best of luck. God bless Sierra Leone. Well, from the messages then there, we come now to Mr. Jamiru. Oleg will respond quickly.
Thank you very much, Khadija and ABK. Famble them do ya so now self they commend me. Now so myself they take the opportunity for commend ABK and Khadija. Because it takes two people to communicate. If we're not only the platform for me, go difficult for me to communicate. So I thank you. So somebody they talk about this national memorial for the one that we don't succumb to Ebola and Corona. I think it's a good idea. I think say government always want for honor people that we don't lose. If we go back to the TRC recommendation and we look at the several discourses and debates around what it don't happen in our country, from war to Ebola to mudslide and now Corona, I think it's very important for me to get discussions around the memorial then day. So I don't take note of that day. Remember, say when we get mudslide, and there was a service, I think, at St. Paul's, Regent, and after that, HE President Bill began for going at the site and they be talk and say a fine for me could do, let it be like a touristic place, but also a memorial for the one them who lost to mudslide. So I think with the coronavirus, it could be an extension of that thinking, and I believe say that discussion they go continue, and government go decide what in exactly for happen. But in principle, as a country, we will always get a sense of history, we will always love ourselves, we will always value lives. Every life of a Sierra Leonean precious. Me now one person will not believe say we for lost lives just like that day. That make even in the constitution, it don't provide a guarantee for people their lives, a very precious, and the one who don't lost during the war, Ebola, and the one who they lost now coronavirus. I think so for always carry them in our hearts, and I think I agree with you that the thinking about a memorial is a very fine thing. Whether the test kits that they use, we sure say na correct test kits that they use. I go on for tell we family and say the test kits they use certified by the World Health Organization and certified by international and they match with international standards. Salone, somebody they say we don't pass other countries in terms of the figures, in terms of the number of people that we don't prove positive. As at yesterday, the total cumulative positive cases for Salone now 178. So if somebody they say, well, what makes Salone figure they rise? I think say the figure they rise because one, we do more testing. A fine for make we do the right thing. We'll not go on for behave. Sometimes we figure then they go up, we begin for hide them. We will never do that. If one additional positive case happen, we think say that the right of the people then for no. Because when we know exactly what they happen in our country and with communities, we will take precautions more. So somebody, well, the one will commend me because he thinks they communicate well. Well, I thank you, and I tell God thank you because it happened. But I think, say, for me, what is important in communication, you always get for recognize, say, na the right of the people for no. And you, as a communicator, a government communications person, for always bear that in mind. Say you owe, when you hold a public office as a communications person, you get to make sure say the people then get the right for no. You are holding that office as a public official for and on behalf of the people. It's not your private property, it's the people's office. So as spokesperson for COVID-19 national response, I bear that in mind. I know the duty we are owed to my nation, and I believe we have to say things as they are, unless there is an information where I believe, say, if I put them into the public, it will jeopardize peace, it will jeopardize public order, it will jeopardize health and security. But I think, say, when the people are informed, they're able to make the right choices and take the right precautions under COVID-19. Somebody talk about the use of face mask. Yes? Why should they commend Sierra Leoneans generally? Because they wear the face mask. But I think, say, we get room for scale up. Some people then they will still not comply. We will continue for reach out to them through public education. And I think, say, the community enforcement of the lockdown as well, very important. Because when you use your face mask, you know they transmit the sick to other person, and other person no go transmit unto you. And for we when our parents, where they in homes, we get picking them under we. Imagine you don't go touch that coronavirus outside. There you go, you know they use your face mask out, you come now your family, you can't end up for pass until you picking them. It's a danger that you are causing. So dear, with papa them, with mama them, with brother and sister them, who always they say it's important for use the face mask. If you not like yourself, do you remember the other people that were there around you nor infect them because of your own recalcitrance. So we always they talk about this and it's important for them to get the right message. But I want Khadija for generally commend who fumble them where they listen, send them questions, and make them constructive suggestions where they help we for fight COVID-19.
Thank you very much, Mr. AOC spokesman, for. All right, thank you very much, Mr. Jamiu, for that brilliant explanation. We don't give. But quickly, once they relax more, we'll listen to music.
We'll go for a short break, yes.
Yeah, we'll come back and ask another question as people let me continue for send them through Facebook page and we text line.
America, China, una one corona. Italy, Spain, una gel corona. Una gel for shame. Ebola don't destroy ya. Una gel for we. Ebola don't come on ya. Corona don't come for corona. Let me check and serious. Corona don't come for corona. Mari no touch us on the tebe. Corona don't come for corona. Corona don't come for corona. Fabula let me check picture. Corona don't come for corona. It don't come for corona. Corona don't come for destroy me. It don't come for kill. Me mama, me brother and sister. We all we take good time. Let's remember the kind palo Ebola we don't pass. We wash your hand with the soap and water. No go shy but cool people there. Anytime you feel you body, you just take up now for a street. America, China, una one corona. Italy, Spain, una gel corona. Una gel for shame. Ebola don't destroy ya. Una gel for we. Ebola don't come on ya. Corona don't come for corona. Let me check and serious. Corona don't come for corona. Mari no touch us on the tebe. Corona don't come for corona. Corona don't come for corona. Let me check with time.
Let me check with time. Gonna the killer, we check with time. Avoid body contact. Gonna Israel, we check with time. Be careful, me family. Gonna know the picky that young you all see. Call 117 if you suspect anybody they sick or not. Don't judge me for the way they pop self now for all the most. Everybody is the caution way they eat self now for washing hand.
America, China, una one corona. Italy, Spain, una gel corona. Una gel for shame. Ebola don't destroy ya. Una gel for we. Ebola don't come on ya. Corona don't come for corona. Let me check and serious. Corona don't come for corona. Mari no touch us on the tebe. Corona don't come for corona. Corona don't come for corona. Fambulem let me check with time. Hello, corona.
Yes, now.
Oh, na me the shot na back off from Chicago. Who's I there now?
Why are they a China or America? I don't even go to Italy. I don't come back Salone. But Salone people, they know what I am. But I don't get show. They ask for life.
Corona, I don't know, say, we shall now. Who get which court, who get pancake, who get chop for the man, hoping for safe, they get you, the back by with the alley.
Dr. Shalvin, I'm in panic today. I know I like that.
What you want now, love, in a salon, follow no die.
Now, what I get it today, now you go know.
More than they not chef. For us, you have to super water. The joy, with the issue of the judge spark. We shall go people and they will know the body. If we see crowd, we run away. I shot your God. Corona, where I feed me body, me head the heart, and the cough, and the cough hospital. Corona, don't go able to wait. It don't tire power. What a brush. What a bro. What America, China, una one corona. Italy, Spain, una gel corona. Una gel for shame. Ebola don't destroy ya. Una gel for we. Ebola don't come on ya. Corona don't come for corona. Let me check and serious. Corona don't come for corona. Mari no touch us on the tebe. Corona don't come for corona. Corona don't come for corona. Fambulem let me check with time.
Well, me family, this now put lock of best comedian them.
All right. Well, I think Sedan very entertaining. Putloko best and a group from Putloko we do that Corona song. The interesting the comedians themselves, Khadija, I see them say they pull songs for the Corona.
Yeah, at least then serve the app for let people relax.
Yeah.
You know, say right now the country is so tense. All man remember Corona and how as a nation we for come together for fight the virus. So We need the music there.
We need them. We need them. You know,
calm
so
we
we
down.
use comedy for pass some strong message. Also good. But let me come back to the EOC spokesperson, Solomon Jamiru Esquire. Members say we will take more comments from you because the spokesperson there, the spokesman there, and now they mean say you get opportunity for you ask more questions as idea for respond to them question and day. Now, Jamiru, let's talk about the lockdown now. Today at the last day, the final push. What do they expect inside this last day or so, as they round up the 3 days?
So, again, I go stick to the objective for the 3 days. Would they expect, say, do you have family then at the last day this? Let we stay at home. The 3 days lockdown, they come to an end. Let we stay at home. Let we listen to the radio, watch television, and use the opportunity for educate with families about the dangers of coronavirus, and make we continue for cooperate with the healthcare workers. Then they move now with communities when a hotspot. Then they take samples all over. They will cooperate with them, because you're not gonna know if you don't get positive case in your community. You're not gonna know if that positive case also we don't pass them on to you. So they'll cooperate, because then they move around for they do testing in a hotspot. And also the contact tracing, they go on. All who don't get positive cases, whether in a western area or upline. So now that day we really want to achieve in these 3 days, not just for stay home and slow or stop the spread, but also the one them who think say don't likely be infected because of an association with positive cases. We don't want to give we experts the opportunity for moving to them community and do a lot of testing, do a lot of contact tracing, and also we look at the quarantine system. As an institution, we believe say because the cases that they come every now and again, the quarantine homes they expand, where they make the management of them quarantines a very complex exercise. So we also they use these 3 days for look at what are some of the best practices we will adopt, so that we go properly and better manage with quarantine homes. We expect people them for not only for the 3 days, but after the 3 days, where the message don't sink well, and we're not able to understand the dangers of coronavirus, then we continue for the use of face mask. And when we dey home, not because you dey home means say, you know, for the wash your hand with soap regularly. If for the wash your hand with soap regularly, whether you dey home or you dey out in the streets. So I think that anything that they will really want to achieve for these 3 days. And after the 3 days, as I say, when we go down sit down as an EOC, we don't assess the gains that we don't make, but also some of the shortcomings we go willing for make them public, make family they know. So anytime we talk about lockdown, we think say the gains then go help we for comply more. And now they we day as at 48 to 72 hours now, ABK.
All right. More messages they come inside. This one from Bailo Jalo from Koinadugu District, Kabbalah. He say, I want to know if there is any after effect on those who have recovered. And then another message, they say, indeed, Sierra Leoneans should stop thinking negative and respect the rule of law and be law-abiding and join hands to fight this deadly disease.
This other one, they say, please, what is the difference between primary and secondary contact? They come out from Lamin, na Texas code. The one they say, EOC will not disclose case 90's identity because they did not disclose cases 4 and 5, except for cases 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, and 8. They come out from a concerned citizen and mile 91. The other one, they say coronavirus is real. Please, Sierra Leoneans, let us continue to fight this virus in the country. This other one, they say, my worry now is that this lockdown, but thereafter the checkpoint will resume bad practices, bike pass through with more than 2 people, cars carrying 6 passengers, crossing without passes, just pay your money. They come out from Kemo Sise, Namashaka. All right, I get another one I also. They say from Sir Augustine Pakima on Facebook. They say, Mr. Jamiru, you should talk about the security personnel. They are harassing citizens. For instance, if they meet you sitting in front of your veranda, they will ask you to get inside. Is it a state of emergency or health emergency? From their messages, then Mr. Jamil, you will quickly respond.
Okay. Thank you very much. I don't note some of them. So somebody they ask what in if there is any after effect and on the one they will recover. So I want to let people understand say when we get them cases then hospitals now with treatment centers the one that we don't prove positive. The treatment where then they give now on a case by case basis. It depends on the signs. It depends on the symptoms where they show. So there is a symptomatic treatment to all of them cases and the way they happen. So, but now, even when you don't recover and they discharge you, the health personnel and they sit down with you, then they engage you, then they make you understand what are the do's and don'ts. So even when they don't discharge you, they go tell you, say, continue for take the necessary precautions. And if you get any further signs, any further symptoms, not hesitate for reach out to we and we'll be able to assist you. So this not just for corona. It come with any other disease. It come with any other health complication. We all can go to hospitals, and even the medicines themselves will they take. You go find out say even when they don't give you the prescription, they go tell you say should there be A, B, C, D, not hesitate for see your physician. So drugs, any kind of treatment, yes, some might have their side effects, but whatever it is, all fall under the communication way the people that we don't recover they get with the health professionals. But so far, so good. The one that we don't recover, we don't discharge. We're glad if our reports say they are doing fine. They are doing very well. Then they in regular discussions. Then they in touch with the health professionals. And we will continue for pray for them that they're
not complain. They're not complain about side effects at all.
Not to my knowledge at this point. Yes, not to my knowledge at this point. So what is the difference between primary and secondary contact? So as I be tell we fumble them say, whenever you get a positive case, it trigger what we call contact tracing. Now, how it happen? When you get a positive case, then they look for all the one them way then think say that positive case they don't likely come in contact with. Then they do what we call categorization. Categorization means say, then they put in on a list the one the way they consider for be primary contact, and on another hand, the one that we then consider for be secondary contact. The primary contact that the one them we then think say the positive case don't come in contact with them, we likely for be infected. We likely for be infected. So it's a question of probability. So then primary contact that they according to the protocol, now then they take anytime you find out say you get them quarantine system, and then primary contact and go did it. After 14 days, then go test. Then go take them swab, then do them testing for see if anyone don't prove positive. And then go make that result they known to them. The secondary contact now the one that we not likely forget the virus because of the nature of their association. So we take the primary contact them, and after the incubation period, we test them. But if during the investigations, the expert then can't understand, say, even if you are a secondary contact, you begin show signs or begin show symptoms, then you for alert 117 and say, or even if you not alert 117, if during the investigation or during the intelligence, the surveillance team can find out, say, even the secondary contact don't begin show signs or symptoms, they can make up their mind for test. So yes, the protocol say test primary contact, but if secondary contact begins show any signs or symptoms, that can be of interest to the surveillance team. Somebody they talk about vehicles where they pass, Khadija, I don't know if that was the right thing, vehicle where they pass, where they move without passes.
No, the person they try for say, the security personnel there and I need for talk to them because if somebody's on a veranda safe, we go tell and say go inside as if the country they in a war or state of health emergency.
Yeah. This is a difficult one because myself while they move, I go see one, two people and sit down. So again, I did the professionalism come. If you're able, as security person, if you're able to assess the situation and know waiting na non-compliance. If somebody sit down in house, he sit down in veranda is sit down. As long as he know they move, You not go say people for go inside and lock the window or lock them domot. If you're able for access them. It depends. It's a question of what you consider for be outside. Because on outside the ABK, as you watch the situation, you know say no, this is non-compliance. Sitting here now, I'm not able for specify within a compliance, within a non-compliance. But generally, we say stay at home. So you security person, once you know say the mandate na in home, in premises, na in private premises. Now where you see it don't come on in house, you dey see it go na treat. That time you know say now this person know they comply with the regulation. But if the person sit down in house, if na in veranda is sit down, or something, you get a room na the back is sit down there, you not left in house. The person still stay at home. So we dey look at them, and I think say again, because it's an emergency, you know, some of them things here, now you get for the take time for the train, even the police officers, because it's something where some of them, especially new recruits, might not know about. But
some man in veranda na treaty.
yeah, well, that's the other thing.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, somebody you watch in veranda, we in Johnson and at the treat. I mean, you try there inside the way cluster.
And quite honestly, you go na some hosts, and this na make I will always say, and social distancing na a challenge in most African countries, especially slums and poor areas. You go na somebody in house, something na just one room, but na they the Monday, na they in Wednesday, something na they in 3-4 picking and day. Small room. It go difficult for later person they inside that place for 24 hours. You just get for calm. So if you meet somebody in a veranda of this, that person has not left his or her home.
All right.
So,
Okay.
but I think say this now continuous education.
Okay, we want for continue for keep the program interactive, and you want for be part of the conversation. Continue for send you messages as the EOC spokesperson there, and some more messages on coming inside. This one they say, good news that our president is tested negative for COVID-19 from Moses Fasaworo, Keita, and Kabbalah and Falaba district. The other message is say, please, this case 90, not to inmates in Pademba Road prison, and government say nobody no escape. How comes case 90 they at large now from Peter and Abo City? Khadija.
All right.
All right. Okay. So let's go on with the other messages that we don't come in. This one they say, I suggest the identity of case 90 be made public because his disappearance is posing serious threat in the lives of Sierra Leoneans. From Mohammed Nyandema na Fode na Nyandema. Klein Town, not so clear. But the last message I go take for now, they say, please, with the appeal to Papa government, make the road free, even if not 3 days, because plenty people want to return to them various homes upline
Right,
from Idrissa and Grassfield.
From Hassan Masokago on our Facebook page, they say, Mr. Jamiru, don't you think face mask should be worn in all public transportation? This one they say, please, Mr. Jamiru, educate the people well about when and how to wear up the face mask, because people are just using it as the way they receive it, which is a very bad practice. This one they say, thank you very much, Mr. Jamiru. Your message is going out loud and clear. From Nzema, they say, I observed that the 055117117 number stated in the press release for the online e-pass application does not work. Why? I have been trying to reach out, but to no avail. Well, we'll come back to Mr. Jamiru for the response of people and concern there.
Thank you very much. So I will take the last one first on the 055117117. Do you just in case you try that line there, you know they go through because sometimes it's clogged because of the abundance of calls. I think so if you look at we press releases and we daily updates, we get numbers then don't they try as best as possible for see if you can reach any of their numbers then they. And we apologize for any inconvenience. On the use of face mask, as we say, that's one of the precautions we're supposed to take, where the health people and don't they advise we. So always make sure you don't necessarily need for use the with my own, as we don't say people that don't they make boku face mask in a salon. When you get your own, you use them. Make sure say you know they hold the pieces at the surface outside. Always try for the if you want for touch your face mask, you want for push up your nose or push and down your mouth. Always make sure say you hold the elastic there within at the side. Avoid for the touch the pieces. because anytime you touch the pieces, if the virus dip on the pieces, it go na your hand. If you mistake touch the pieces na your face mask, always wash your hand immediately where you don't mistake for touch them. And on this face mask, if you sit down at your hose, you not go need for wear face mask. But if you find out, say, the community where you dey, una choke inside the compound, and you don't know who that go sneeze or who that go cough near you, I go advise you for the use your face mask. When you dey move out of your house, you dey go out for go take transport, or you dey go walk any side, use your face mask. If you go somewhere where you want go and sit down, nobody know the way go come in contact with you, nobody know the way go come near you, you can relax and small. But as soon as you know say they go outside, outside people then they always use your face mask, because you don't know when and how somebody can contact you will get the COVID-19 or the coronavirus. Somebody they ask if, or somebody they advocate for make them lift the interdistrict lockdown. They say because Bokuma want for go offline. Well, I want for make we know say not to government intention for make say people then get this inconvenience. We know say Bokuma come up from homes offline. Even myself we sit down here. But do you have this interdistrict lockdown is important? We don't find out say not to free turn no more. This then case here they come out, then case here they come out offline. In different districts them. If we allow people to move from one district to the other, now so we they spread the disease as they move along. So the interdistrict lockdown will continue. The term number one we know say is safe for make we lift the interdistrict lockdown. I want for assure we family then say it will happen. But for now, make we all just cooperate for make we fight this coronavirus, for make it come on here we feel. Thank you.
All right. Let me talk about another important aspect of the fight against COVID-19, where now the quarantine and isolation process. And we don't there is so many concern them from the isolation and the quarantine home there. Most of people they raise concern, but certain things the way get for do it for eat, water, and other things them we know they get in time. Within EOC and government don't do for address some of them concern there, especially when they will get for do no system where they under quarantine at Jue.
Thank you very much, Khadija. So first I will say to family them, we continue for put with nurses, with doctors, with pharmacists, with community health officers, and other medical people at the center and at the front in the fight against coronavirus. And we continue for tell them thank you for the sacrifice they make. So first make we understand what's in a quarantine and what's in a isolation. Even though technically when somebody is in quarantine, you go on for say it's a form of isolation. But let me just see if I can explain as small how the health people then be intend them for make we use their word there. So quarantine basically mean for put somebody on side and for restrict a movement. Now in the quarantine, I will explain them very soon. Anytime we get a positive case, the experts then they do first of all what we call line listing. Then they list down all the people the way they think say that positive case don't likely come in contact with. Then they get what they call primary contacts, and then get what they call secondary contacts. When they don't list and done, then they start what we call the contact tracing. For begin for trace all of them people in there. Once they don't do that contact tracing, the one them where they fair not say now primary contacts, we they get them all into a quarantine center. Some places then there's some homes that they will go. So until you get 2-3 households, 2-3 houses around there, they can take them 3 houses as a quarantine. And then they tell them people then say, do ya, because we don't get one coronavirus positive case now, would they expect all who that did there not for move una all just day one place. That's not quarantine. Quarantine can also mean sometimes they set up a school somewhere. If it really not convenient, if it really not practicable for get them people in their homes, then can decide for move them and put them in a particular place. It's still a form of quarantine. Isolation now professionally. Now where you dey take the people that were sick, in this case, where you get positive cases, you decide for take them away from the community we not get positive case. So isolation means where you don't identify the sick people or the people that will become positive, you dey take them, you dey extract them from that community now and put them, what we call isolation or treatment centers. Now that's not the meaning. And because of, as I don't say, this coronavirus, the way it come, the cases, they increase, the positive cases, they increase. How then they increase? Will they do contact tracing? Will they get primary contact? Now so will they set up quarantine homes as we go along? It pose a very serious challenge, not only to the EOC, but government generally, because all of them here also get financial implications. And the management, it means that you get more personnel for the manage them. And one of the concerns will be get as well, now the one that went at the nurses, now Jew. We can't understand, say, the conditions under which them be put them, it not be too favorable. And not to Jew no more, we get another concern from Kenima. But as I said the last time, and I go talk them again, because now emergency, and some of them things here, they get a very long term for plan them, they try for address them as then they emerge, we bound forget some of them challenges. But I want for sure we fumble them. Whether not quarantine homes, and we get a quarantine management system in place, or isolation or treatment centers, we they make sure, say, as an EOC, we they continue for address them challenges then they, as then they occur. And indeed, as I said to fumble them, we very concerned when people are not in quarantine. We want to make sure say then they get the food supplies. We want to make sure say then they get people from the psychosocial pillar where they talk to them, because of the stress and the fact that you keep somebody one place, you get for always they talk to them for the cold in heart. So yes, we they get some challenges from quarantine homes and treatment centers, but as an EOC, we always they try for address them as we go along.
Now, let me look at the way how the virus they spread in a community there, and we make the 3 days lockdown. Most people feel say essential. Now, today now the final push of the lockdown. When I get any statistics so far of people where they don't able to do contact tracing, or certain community them where the contact tracer they don't go?
I'm not going to release statistics at this point, but I will tell we family so we don't get quite a good number of people like for Bo alone, we don't do quite a good number, over 100 possibly for Bo. But I'm not going for release statistics we don't do now, but I will tell we family and say we don't do quite a good number of contact tracing for the hotspots, especially for the hotspots for Western area.
For unable for reduce the way how the cases then they spread through the test them way people that they do, nothing way achievable within a short period by the look of things so far, Mr. Jamil?
That's a very good question, especially when people can say, looking at the figures, as at yesterday in 178, what in the data they tell we? What in the projection? What do we expect for next week? What do we expect for next month? When you think say this thing go down? Honestly, Khadija, if I be get that answer there, I the provider immediately. No country, no day, we not able for talk say this thing they done tomorrow or they done next week. Every country they determine and make a own projection. Some country go talk say, well, this thing, if you're not even done next week or next month, they open the society, they open businesses. So every country they take a own step based on a own unique circumstances. For we believe say we need for do more tests, we need for do more contact tracing, and that make it important for get these 3 days. I believe say it go get to a point where sometimes we self can begin for tell family and say, from we projection, sometimes so term, for the things say coronavirus go they come to an end. But looking at the way it don't spread worldwide, and nothing say is safe or advisable at this point, for give an indication when it go down. But I go on for a show family and say we go do everything we were supposed to do for make sure say we stop the spread of the virus and take care of the one them we don't become positive.
Before you left in the studio, Mr. Jamigo, today na the final day of the 3 days lockdown? What exactly government they expect?
Well, I think say for the 3 days, we don't bear for 2 days. We get 24 hours or less than that. Fambulem, I think say we don't do well as Sierra Leoneans. Now that government expect, now that it mean for be a citizen of a country, for listen to your government, and for make we all join hands for end the coronavirus. We expect them go still continue for moving our communities. You might then in a community where if we consider am for be a hotspot, we do what we call purposive testing. People then go come and take swabs in that particular community day. If you see it happen in your community, what would they expect you for doing for cooperate? You find out say surveillance can come and do contact tracing. If you find out say it happen in your community, let us cooperate. After the 3 days lockdown, if we go for the move about, if you find out say you get quarantine homes, you find out say people then they in need of food, of water, government not able to reach them people then they early. As community, we self can mobilize and give a helping hand. Continue for use your face mask, continue for wash your hands regularly, and make you continue the social distancing. Okay. And for who they home, stay home means stay home. Not left you house, you go na street. Not give calls to the police for either harass you or for arrest you. If you comply, you don't get any need for be worried. I think say now that's what they expect, and I think say as a government we want to tell you all thank you because we comply with the lockdown.
All right. Somebody they ask say people don't begin send plane for go take that hab na Madagascar. He say if Salone the member say we still go begin buy some from there.
Well, the Madagascar thing we don't hear about them. Then call it the COVID organic. It's a kind of plant where they don't experiment. You know one thing about medicine. Then go tell you say for make you get a medicine for roll them out. Then go tell you say you need about 18 months to 24 months for make it go through the system, they investigate them, they certify them before WHO accepts say we will get this medicine for go out. We want for applaud not to Madagascar no more. Senegal also be they look at local means for do their testing.
Yeah, they don't even make ventilators.
Yeah,
you know, and all that thing that really help them defend.
And guess what? Now Salone, we don't hear about this. We young man. We do this technology for hand washing, sensor. I also get a young doctor, and now I'm calling him on air. They tell if you give me the permission, I go do it later. And some chemists, we also do local, we also do hand sanitizers. Then they look at the concoction where WHO don't prescribe. Then they don't begin doing an air. Somebody they will also don't talk to. With them, we believe say they will start for do the PPEs. So at the end of the day, what thing therefore make the Sierra Leonean case COVID-19 story interesting? Now the local initiatives we were able to adopt for FET this FET. And I want for little fumble then this is an opportunity for we. We were smart, we're technology minded, we can think about innovation. Me think saying that the best 10 days. Usually when difficulty, when you are pushed to the wall, now that 10-day innovation they come out faster. So anybody will get local ideas for help for FET COVID-19, not hesitate for reach out to EOC, and we go see how we can put some of them things and together, put you in touch with experts there for guide you on their local solutions. Because I think say at the end of the day, we can import from out. But what you go make we unique, now we're able to adopt their local ideas and innovations, and we are looking forward to them.
Well, thank you very much. In name na Solomon Jamiru Esquire, the spokesperson for the COVID-19 response team. If you don't dare for tell me about how the feds on the go the corona today na the last day inside the 3-day lockdown. Well, we don't talk about successes, we don't talk about the challenges we don't face so far in the fights. Khadija, I think say solo key left we now.
Many thanks to you, Mr.
Yeah, because
the spokesman. So many questions.
I don't know whether I've call and solo or we get we own.
We don't carry on language.
We get we own carry on language.
So many questions then for you on our Facebook page, but most of them commending the great work where people let's say they do for explain, let them understand exactly what's in the gun na the COVID-19 fight. I believe so will continue. People will continue for hearing from you from different media outlets them listen to as Sludge and Aaron they continue for bringing you updates about the coronavirus. Thank you very much, Mr. Jamiru, for we join we this morning session and can you with a brilliant explanation there.
Thank you very much, ABK and Khadija. Thank you, IRN Sludge, and thank you to Salone people.
Right. Listener, they wanna continue for stay tuned as we bring on a more update on the corona updates where Sludge and IRN they bring come to you. Will they take this short break? Will they come back?
The Independent Radio Network, IRN, planting up king for Gud Mornin Salone and development. Brother, sister, mama, papa, una yo. Brother, sister, mama, papa, una yo. The Independent Radio Network, where we they call IRN. The battle we countries alone for make we get level playground. Now I ain't done enough for make you know about your country. They give voice to you man them. They give voice to woman them. All political party them. Right across the country. You go na the east, and you go na the west, you go na the north, and you go na the south, say yes to tolerance. We all get we right. IRN say no to violence. No mix perfect like a blabber. But we all work together with one word. Cause now so we go help for make Salone. Brother, sister, mama, papa, una yo. Brother, sister, mama, papa, una yo. And well body business, quality education, decentralization, with agriculture and infrastructure, energy and power, with social welfare, for human rights, anything but development.
Welcome back. This is our Corona update where they come to you from over 65 radio stations, them right across Sierra Leone. And Sludge and IRN, they make this simulcast, they meet you from all the side them where they get with this morning. Mira Abubakar Kanu there with Khadija Bangura. But for now, one for come back to the studio as we just don't talk to the EOC spokesperson. We just don't leave the studio. The Case Management Committee now they're responsible for manage all coronavirus confirmed case them now the different treatment center them. Well, for know how case management don't they happen, the IRN coordinator answered right. Go talk to Dr. Stephen Lavalley. When a pillar lead for case management, we explain more about case management.
Case management, they about people that will get infected and meet the definition of a case for this COVID-19 response. So every case will arise in Sierra Leone, whether in Freetown or any other partner in the country. Now the responsibility of case management for ensure say that patient there or that person they will bring them to care, we manage them, and at the end of the day we discharge them safely back to the public.
Definitely, from which you don't talk so, different components in the inside, because from where you go take the person, take it kind of the hospital or the treatment center, different things they happen. So explain, tell what are the different things that they happen.
Good. So first in this response we get a number of pillars then, not only case management na the pillar, and no pillar no go work alone. We dey work in collaboration with other pillars then. One of the key pillar them where they exist na surveillance, for example. We get psychosocial pillar, and surveillance they able guide the laboratory pillars to order for be tested where they are at higher risk, and once people are tested then become positive, then psychosocial pillar self will come inside for give psychological support for the traumatic news that somebody don't be positive, and in the process case management they come in for take that patient they and bring them come to care. And case management involve a lot, quite a complex operation. So for example you get patient referral systems, where is the patient, when do you collect the patient. So we get ambulance system where we ride on the national emergency ambulance services we then call NEMS, and that platform the nine we use for take patients then from the different location and bring them come to care. We also therefore ensure say we get beds available for patients then, because as we see waiting they happen with COVID, and the characteristic all over the world, not just alone no more COVID will affect. All over the world we see the cases then they increase every day. So not just something we unique to Salone. Now response system now get for strengthened. So we as case management, we too do now for more try forget the number of beds they are available. So in case tomorrow morning we wake, then say, oh, you have how many cases, 100, whatever it may be, they will for able to absorb their cases, then they bring them to care. So it involves a lot in terms of space, that is infrastructure. We get this model we can call 5S. Besides space, you get for think of staff. You know, we already with the train existing staff within the health workforce. But in addition to that, so you think of how you go able to recruit new staff then for come support the health workforce in this.
So help we understand each of them side in the structure. Almost facility that we get now for handle the cases them if then they come.
So the strategy where we don't develop now that we get facilities them we go handle severe cases, acute severe illness. Then we get facilities them we, if you're not too severe, we will prefer for make you did it, because you will, as they say, 80% or more of the cases then they're mild and asymptomatic. We count to how many facilities. First, we don't put facilities into categories. So we get the COVID treatment centers, then we now for acute COVID illness.
Which you mean then for post we don't get the sick.
They don't get the sick, then the sick serious, sometimes not able to blow. Okay. You get difficulty in breathing because this sick now the sideway the blow now the respiratory system now they affect.
Okay, so who's the center then they?
So we get 34 military hospital in the main one.
Okay.
We also get the Joy Hospital.
Okay.
We get the capability for handle severe illness, and we get the Lunge Hospital.
Okay.
We then don't develop the capability.
So now then three they take
severe cases right now. And we also get what we call CCC, when I like a care center.
So before you go to the care center, then three places then where they take the severe cases them. Then get ventilator them.
Correct. Then get ventilator them, then get oxygen, then get trained staff.
Almost ventilator then get.
So it depends on the facility. I know say like 34 military hospital gets now about at least 6 ventilators.
Okay.
We the talk of Dewey Hospital where I know say get a minimum of 3 ventilators. We also get about 2 or 3 ventilators now the Lunge Hospital.
Okay.
And waiting I would like for make clear. At times I see people give a lot of attention to how many ventilators do you have.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that really patients mostly will need oxygen and not ventilators, not that mechanical ventilator. Like say the man will breathe past, you get a machine where will make him blow.
Okay.
All the cases that we don't get. Like 34, an officer really don't get the need for like use ventilator per se. Mostly we too don't get the need for now for the oxygen therapy.
So what are the difference between the oxygen and the ventilator? Maybe then they get people in for understand.
Yeah, so when I say oxygen therapy, now we you're not able for take enough oxygen into the blood because the lungs, the virus don't infect them, and now the oxygen able pass well. So what we do, we give pure oxygen because the oxygen concentration in the atmosphere is not that high. Okay, but we'll give pure oxygen where they are above 90%. Then they bring the oxygen level now the blood come up. And oxygen and they make we all live, and they make we all there alive. So
Yeah.
if you lost oxygen, then you will die. So now that's where they protect against. Now, how is this different from mechanical ventilation? Mechanical ventilation is a situation outside the person able blow for himself at all. In oxygen therapy, you will blow for yourself, but I just give you oxygen so that you will get more oxygen in your body. But in mechanical ventilation, the patient now that ventilator they 90 blow am, if I put it that way.
Okay. 90 below for them.
Yes,
Yeah.
90 below for them, you know. And that's not the difference. And most really almost all we patients then we don't receive we severe. We don't get oxygen therapy, okay, but the need for do mechanical ventilation hardly arise.
Okay.
Yes.
So
So this also the suggest this waiting clear and waiting they happen at Salone is not different from what we don't see in other countries in the world. 80% of this illness, 80% and above, now mild illness or asymptomatic. And when they say asymptomatic, it means you don't get symptoms at all. So literally, these are people that we like not even need any treatment. You know, if you not get symptom, you not get complaint. Really, why somebody get for go bother you say you for take medicine? Okay. However, if you positive and you not show symptom, you not show complaint, it's still important for make we take you and bring you can to care because we don't want to infect somebody else.
okay.
Okay, so people, one of the patients like ask me when I go into the treatment center. Now I ask, he say, but doctor, he say you sick, you know they know. I say yes, I didn't know. He say you know the feel say you sick. I say yes, I dey feel say I sick. But why now when I say I sick, but me, I know they feel nothing. Now they say, hey, well, mommy, I say yes. I say, but until then the check, I try for. Now he say no. He say in fact the pressure self will go up now because I can. But the point is, people have to understand the nature of diseases.
Okay.
And the nature of infectious diseases.
So wetin really dey happen? Why the virus go dey inside person and then the person no dey feel sick?
Great. So infectious diseases in general, they behave in different ways. We get what they can call subclinical infections. So you get the infection, but you're not sick enough for make you go to hospital.
Okay.
That happens all the time. So it is not just with a matter of COVID.
Okay.
It happens with typhoid, for example. In fact, some people then can call them typhoid carrier. They get typhoid, they will not get sick of typhoid, but they actually have the active typhoid in their system. Okay, if you want, you can Google like was it typhoid Mary or somebody that worked in a restaurant that had typhoid and was transmitting this typhoid, but her herself was not sick. Okay, and this happens with infectious diseases in general. Okay, so people then get for understand say you can get the infection in your body, but you not necessarily go complain of anything.
So in other words, wetin dey happen na the body self dey fit the sick? How?
It's good. So you see, we all different as human beings. Just like I will give you an example again of HIV, they affect everybody the same way. Others them they get infected but they hardly affect. Okay, the same can to COVID. We body and we system is different. We constitution our genetic makeup is different, and therefore we react differently to the same situation.
Okay.
Okay, when it comes to diseases.
Okay.
And mind you, even when Ebola come to this country, some of the assessments, scientific research we don't do, we then go into communities, then they take sample. Then also we find out, say, there are people who were infected but they did not fall sick and go to the hospital. So they were subclinical infection. Infection where you get, but it not make you sick enough for make you go to the hospital. So it happens with infectious diseases in general.
Okay, so how you think say that one day go affect una working people them that particular side?
So it gets challenged with public understanding. Okay, because if you go meet somebody, we feel say if you get infection, then if all they don't pass, they can't take care for go to an hospital. But you get this infection and you are active and there is no complaint and the rest, then I tell you, say, but you have tested positive, you say a lie. And this is the thing we have, and we get community resistance. Because you go to this community, they say this person don't positive, and the community comes around and say, no, but this man be there yesterday, now all the work look with the person strong, and and
so how can handle then?
Engagement.
Okay.
It is about engagement, it's about talking to the people, it's for make them able to understand that we know ideally we will not want first make the disease scare. The second thing we want to achieve if the disease don't come, like we will be say we get that first, second or third case, make it stop the normal.
Yes.
Okay, but unfortunately it has not, and that is the way the disease is behaving in every other country we know. Now, if you get infected, the best we can do now for talk to you and bring you to care. Well, of course, now, but work for we, now a lot of sleepless nights, now a lot of planning, a lot of investment in resources. But we just have to do that because the thing is, you positive, you not get complaint. Tell God thank you, God make you your system that way.
Okay.
But you can transfer to other person. You can infect other person. Now, suppose you infect other person, then that person didn't die. You see?
So that center where you talk about, because you talk earlier about the side way the acute people and they go, or the one they don't get the severe one.
Correct.
So the second layer, explain that for me.
So we also develop what we call community care centers. They are treatment centers. But what is the difference? The difference is this is a somewhere for mild cases or cases that will not get symptoms at all. Like Frabe College.
Okay.
We are using the hostel. We have to quickly adapt. Okay, because the problem with COVID, not that people in the dialect where Ebola today. That is not the case. But the number of cases rise so quick, surge, that you have to be able to absorb. What happened in some of the highly resourced countries is that they had the surge, they took all the patients into their hospitals, all the beds in the hospitals got finished, there are more patients, and there was a crisis. But a good number of the patients that they took into their hospitals were mild and asymptomatic. So we said, okay, we do not have that capability, but then let us bring in a strategy here.
Okay.
Let us establish existing facilities that we can quickly repurpose and say us use them for mild and asymptomatic cases like Frabe College.
Okay.
Now we are doing Peace Mission Training Center, which is in the military, that is Hastings.
Okay.
Okay. Now Hastings can take about 120 persons. Okay. Private college at the moment, the site where we don't repurpose, can take about 150.
Okay.
Now, if you are positive for COVID, but you not get complaint, or you are positive, but a small cold number, like we go get small fresh cold, we can put you there.
Okay.
And we support you, then we monitor you closely. We develop severity criteria. In case you meet ABC, then we are going to move you to the area for severe illness.
So within the happen where the people ending at the center there, so we're not to the severe one. Then get doctor or nurse where they check them regularly. Then they give them any kind of medicine. What's in they happen there?
Good. So definitely we get a robust team of doctors, nurses, community health officers, surveillance officer attached, hygienists, and then facilities there. We do rounds and check the patients every day. And if you get complaint, more say you get that, or sometimes you know somebody will get high blood pressure, or maybe you get back pain, which in fact might not be direct COVID, will be managed. If you present increasing symptoms of COVID like cough and the rest and whatever, we have doctors on the ground that are going to manage you. Okay. And we get severity criteria. We're going to be based on age, we're going to be based on the fact that you get comorbidities like diabetes, hypertension, you begin to become breathless, okay? Then that time we can say, okay, this is not mild anymore. That precious critical bed in GA or 34, these patients meet the criteria for it. So let us move these patients to that bed. Now, we increase the chance of survival by doing that. But if we take that mild case, we will put them at the high resource center. We get the oxygen and the rest, but you know they don't need that at all. Then we will not deprive that severe case. We will come.
Okay.
Okay. So more or less, this is the way we have.
So one other thing that we can hear about, where they say some people in the self-isolate, or some people not they go hospital. Then they didn't have their host way, or they allow them for make them didn't have their host, and then they monitor them or whatever. Explain that or what's in the opinion in that case.
So first of all, I want the issue about isolation, whether it is managed directly or is purely facility based, or it is self or home based. It is not new in the COVID response in general.
Okay.
In the United Kingdom, in other countries in the West, they have tested it and they have proven it works. When we talk about self-isolation, and we are all doing it, like when there are people who are quarantined in their houses. Okay, there are people who are quarantined in facilities, but because we identified, for example, say a case, name case X, and you did the contract and your facility you didn't use, but it was assessed and determined to be suitable, then we can provide the necessary personnel and supervision around you, and you are quarantined.
Okay.
Your samples are taken at the appropriate time, guided by the policy we have, tested. If you become positive, we'll bring you to treatment center.
Okay, so if you're not positive, you did it?
Yeah, if you're not positive, you will do it and we will let you continue.
Okay.
Now, the aspect of quarantine, whether it is self or not, it depends on risk assessment. Now, let us say we are here, you are alone in this house, you have a bathroom, okay, everything, we can put security here, nobody has to access you, okay, for this period where you're in a high risk or where the judge you is. Then why do we have to move you here and go with you maybe to a place where una plenty? You can manage well, and this is what is happening in other countries.
But this one now in some, well, I would say like the public, some people can get problem with whether they say una partial.
No. You see, okay, good that we get this chance again for like discuss some of the things there, but it is risk assessment. And when we talk about risk assessment, we talk about the risk to the individual and the risk to the public is paramount. That man with the a facility when I one day, okay, in not in a crowded place, in not in a crowded compound and the rest, in not go endanger anybody. Let us be fair. Okay, you can able say, okay, the risk to the public is little or not does not exist.
Okay.
Okay, while if I live in a crowded facility, yeah, we've lived in compounds where you have, 30
They share
people,
about in them.
you share everything and the rest. To be honest, even if not so for you, but let us care about the other people you are going to put at risk. Okay, this is a public health issue.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not just about me as an individual, but it is about the public, it is about others. And how do we protect others if I have the infection or I have potential based on my exposure that I will develop this disease?
Okay.
Okay, so these are the things that comes into it.
Yeah.
And it's not just one man sitting down and say, oh no, that man, let him go there and this one I will pick him.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So now let me talk about the case that we get right now. Almost cases that we get right now within the various like treatment center, them maybe the one that we get the acute one or the severe one, them like as we say like 34 and the other side, because we understand that 34 don't full. So give me
mind you, 34
information.
discharge back today.
Okay.
So,
so give me updates on that.
Okay, good. So of course we get the communication pillar. We will always give.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
correct numbers.
Yeah.
And the numbers then they change rapidly.
Yes,
that
yes.
I will tell you because wrong. Lunge Hospital gets some discharges today. 34 Hospital forget about 3 or 4 discharge. I go back up on that. Same to J about 3-4 discharge. So the numbers there they change, I would say. But definitely 34 get beds available. That I am very sure of. Lunge Hospital get beds available. Jue Hospital as at today will get about 33 cases, so then still get beds available. Okay, yes. And besides the facility there we now for like acute severe cases. Remember say we don't activate Frabe College. Okay, we have about 150 bed capacity. We get the Peace Mission Training Center where we intend for open on the 9th. We get about 120 bed capacity.
Okay.
We don't decentralize the response.
Yes, I just want to ask about that. The districts then get?
Sure. So now I know say we dey fix some water issue with Kenema, and Kenema gets 50 beds.
Okay.
Okay, we na the new structure where they don't come together for viral hemorrhagic fever like Lassa, any hemorrhagic outbreak. But now we use that for COVID.
Okay.
Okay, a very good structure. Like I saw it myself.
Yeah.
So it's good. Kailaun gets the old government hospital because they get a new government hospital now.
Okay.
So that old government hospital now about 65 beds. We still try for fix a few things. Okay, but mind you, this was an existing structure that is used or was used by patients. So that is going well. Kono has, with the collaboration of partners in health, I think about 24 beds. I was in Bombali, Makeni. They had 14 beds. And the Magwete Hospital also don't give the back of the hospital we get about 50 beds. Okay, we get about 50 beds there. Also, the old Makeni Government Hospital is also a structure we are looking at how we can revamp that, and propose it well.
What about Bond?
We are working on Bond. So a team came from Bond yesterday. So we sent a team to Bond, and Bond gets a structure where they use for Ebola, when I like the back of the UBC hospital. We also realize some small work they will need for them for keep them up to speed.
Okay.
But like they are almost there. They have good water source and supply, because of the solar system.
Yeah.
They get 24-hour electricity. So all we need now the infection prevention and control aspects. Those are you go down end off like we do with personal protective gear.
Yeah.
Inside go undress am. Then we look at the waste management system.
That now Dr. Stephen Sivali, we now the pillar lead for case management, be the talk to we IRN coordinator Ransford Wright. This is a corona update, and they come to you from different radio stations right across Sierra Leone, over 65 radio stations north, south, east, and west of the country. And members in a Sludge and Iron, they make this program, they reach you. Now, Prison Watch Salone don't they monitor the detention facility them during the 3 days lockdown. Online now for tell me more, now the communication officer Mohammed Kone. Good morning, Mohammed, and welcome to Corona Update.
Thank you, ABK, and good morning to everybody.
All right, Kone, let's talk about our monitoring. Waiting on our findings, waiting on our observation so far.
Basically, our observation is that things are going fine this period lockdown, and the area they all visit seem to be quiet, and movement and seem to be curtailed. Although yes, you will see one or two people outside, they don't have dope, one and the most. But some of the areas they will go, they see police, they go around, they talk to people, and the lockdown meeting them for cancel, they don't have dope, and for the inside their house. So basically, the lockdown seems for the whole because people in they abide by rules and regulations.
So this observation we una don't make them findings here now right across the city on as on part the normal reach.
Well, basically, Prison Watch is a human rights organization, human rights based organization where they look at detention facilities. So we monitoring start from all the way out of here up to Calbatong. They look at police stations, the suspects within a police station, and also for make sure that they get food during this lockdown. So Prison Watch as an organization provide food for all suspects in police detention centers.
So when una go na then detention center here, how una see the suspect then they fear on?
Then they're somehow comfortable because during lockdown, we're not in a period where the family members are not going to move from one place to the other, and government or the police station are not going to provide all the food for the suspect then. So they're comfortable somehow, and even the food we Prison Watch go give them and make them be happy and make sure they put them at ease, and also reduce the pressure on the police for provide food for suspects already in custody at this time. So basically, the suspects already in custody, they come somehow, and then they at ease because they get waiting for it during this period.
Una also reach the Pademba Correctional Service and na Pademba Road?
No, not at all. This time, basically, now for the police detention facilities, the suspects already in custody, because we know on normal basis, government they provide food for the one within a Panemba Road or correctional center. Then the government they provide food throughout for them. Normal one, just like Kaneki provide food normal time. So basically, not to dinner with attention. We attention this time for suspects within a police detention facilities.
Now let's talk about inmates and rights, and then kind tell me also we see how these feds they go the corona fed, but also the inmates and rights matter. You want to tell me more about that, Andy?
Yeah, as they say, the human being get rights. Normal, as we all know, we all get with normal rights. But people already in custody, then some of the rights, like right of movement, limited. And like where you dey out for food for yourself at that moment, you know they so with them, you know they so are suspect with them for this time. So now that's not the more reason why reason why decide for getting food at this time, because we know the movement curtail, they're not going to move from one place to the other, and also family members are not going to go meet them. So basically, them seeing that right they out of the way. If we talk about that kind of right they not get at this time. But that human treatment, the aspect of human treatment, Now basically we look at, you know, means we person there in detention, all the rights we get, all removed from man. No, you get right to food, you get right to good treatment, you get right to for like drink water, you get right to there are other rights and we basically we they detention we forget. So basically now that's what they try for see that it provided for them, that they get food for it during this period. Though the family members they don't go reach them at this time, but they get that right for them and get rights to food. So basically these are the things that we look at. And also it not means again when the person they in detention, they for subject them to certain treatment. For example, we know say we person they in detention, sometimes they and you think now then police and you think call them then get one way when they isolate them, where they know for even for letting get water for the insects, it can be difficult. So all of that, we look at them, for make sure that all of them rights are provided to them, so that when they're in detention, let's say go feel at ease, and let's say go feel like just like a normal motorman, despite that right for movement curtailed.
Today, now the last day inside the 3-day lockdown, and you say now don't go now different parts in the country. Waiting on our overall assessments now as we conclude today.
Well, basically, the lockdown go on very, very well because people then somehow are able to comport themselves, staying at the hostel, and that kind of movement will be there. The last lockdown, that kind of movement will be there in the streets. Not this time. We also find out that even the aspect of water, plenty here, that kind of crowd in the crowd area for water, not this time around. So basically, a lot of things somehow seem for day in place. It's just that we not get everything 100%. But most of the things we I believe we make this lockdown day in place. So basically, the lockdown gone well, and people they comport themselves. And also, we see even you see human rights organizations and they out and they feel. I mean, you see people that where they give food to people that destitute like Christmas within the street. To see other organizations and they provide food for them. We also see now that area them water provide water and starting community them. You see them big water bowser them water flow up inside there. So basically, then things that all they happen. And we own area when I for look at them suspects them whether in detention and make sure that the suspect then comfortable at this time that they get food for eat, they get water for drink. And that aspect of subjecting them to inhuman treatment not happen at this time because these are the key things and we actually they look at for them people that in suspect because some people they in detention not necessarily means wrong thing but they are suspect they are accused of certain things there and we for make sure that they somehow comfortable while they're in detention and make sure that what they're supposed to get they get them. For example, then figure that we not say food very very important. And we want for let people then get food, especially when they're in detention, so they know we will fend for themselves. We want to let them get water for them. We want also for them, let nobody not knock them, not get that kind of complaint for them, policeman don't knock them, suspect whether in custody, or the person whether in custody, they not allow for them. That kind of complaint, we will not forget them. The only thing is that during this law, and the very first day we will do the feeding, the number will be there, it don't increase at this time because few people that we still not agree for abide by rules and regulations. We begin to see they say some people flex and then compound. So then go arrest them because they disturb the nation and make palaver fed. They disturb the nation. One other police station I don't care, we not say they don't increase. They say the first day at the 8th day, but now 14th day. Meaning people then still doing this lockdown, some people then still find way for commit crime for let them bring in camp. And not people that waking me lawless, one for student athletes, one for common athletes. We don't get nothing for doing athletes, and then kind of people in there. So basically, some of the findings in there. But on a whole, the overall, things then gone fine, and people, the majority of the people then they comport themselves. Just that few other people in there who don't want to comport themselves, and then kind of people they now in a police custody.
All right, thank you very much, Mohammed Kone, for your time.
Okay, thank you too.
All right, Mohammed Kone, the communication officer for Prison Watch Salone, has then done the monitor detention facility them during these 3 days lockdown. Khadija.
We continue with the program, the special corona updates where Sludge and Iron they bring come to you from the different radio station where you they listen the program from. Well, they look at more issues them inside the program this morning. From where the corona sick come na the country, well, body will command them, don't they take the lead for fight the sick. one area where well body workman them don't they work stronger one and the western area rural district outside they don't they promote safety and health environment during the corona fete. Samuel Bangram Matia, where they work for Vopod Radio na Watalo, talk to one panel well body workman them for community health organization. We talk more about the work.
My name is Abdul Kabia, Program Coordinator, Community Health Organization, Sierra Leone.
So what's this organization about?
This organization, of course, is a health organization within the Western Area Rural Districts. An organization we made up of healthcare practitioners. We attached to both public and private clinics there across the Western Area Rural District. We aim now for protect the health of those without wealth at community level. We they go down at community and help for sensitize people how for maintain a hygienic environment. So far so good now that's what they do. And of course, with regards to this pandemic, we set up a COVID-19 response initiative where we they go down at the community and give sensitization about this coronavirus and continue for encourage people for abide, because we strongly believe as an organization we they work closely with governments, or we try for pushing government efforts in passing down the information about the coronavirus.
So what's your observation, especially in the 3 days lockdown, day 2 today?
Yeah, the 3 days lockdown is very good. People really they show say na law abiding citizens them, because you see everybody they now in house. We they meet them. We they call the entire household. We volunteers them cut across this particular community as one of the worst Ebola affected communities, because now then communities then they really target as an organization. So we they send we volunteers them down every streets within this particular camp and the surrounding. Then they meet the household, call everybody. They all they sit down, and from there the volunteer they maintain social distance, and we teach them about this coronavirus, the need, why they need for abide to this, because this is a national call for every citizen, not only to the government inside, but na the side of every patriotic citizen for making abide, so that this government will able to succeed for drive commodity sick.
What do you find out as one of the challenge where people don't face out of our discussions with them?
Well, it's very interesting, because in fact I create a platform where they meet with me volunteers after we don't go around. We they come again, we they meet, we try for share experiences. So some of the things the way people and don't encounter so far, what's in the thing we learn from the people. So one of the things where most of them tell me, and even me again, where I go down the community, people and they tell you say one, they tell you about was and way when not they give it up for it. And then people also they complain about face mask. People and say they want face mask them. Then also they demand to waive Veronica buckets. They say they not get them. Also some people can look at we say, hey, una government don't give una boku money. So na it make una they come understand, una they can't tell you about this. But to tell and say no. This is a self-funded organization, and this activity we carry out is independent. We do them on we own, and we take care of all we expenses what they undergo.
So which one are the expects out of all which one are don't go out there the share from government parts and for we the ordinary people in this part of the world?
Well, that's a very nice question. First of all, as an organization, we are non-profits as we work. Now the communities them, we was affected with Ebola. And we strongly believe say this impact what we create, it just the cushion to government in efforts in the fight against this sickness. What we expect as an organization, we want more stakeholders them for me to come on board and try for embrace the idea or the vision, our aims and objective of this particular organization. Because as an organization, for now, we get our own constraints that we're facing, and especially in the area of maintaining volunteers, a huge sum of 75 volunteers. And these are not just people you pick around the communities. These are well-trained and qualified health practitioners. we make up the volunteer team of this particular organization. Most of them are graduates and most of them trying to seek jobs. So bring them together, form this particular organization. So they call on stakeholders them for me to embrace and see how then they come for help we, for encourage the volunteers them. So this particular, like this three days lockdown is just one of our many strategy we fall under this initiative, because the initiative is divided into two. All right, the COVID-19 community response initiative is divided into two. The one is community outreach, and the other is stakeholders engagement. So this is just one of the phases we just decide for do at this particular time. Then the next, will they bring in stakeholders and on board? Will they engage them perhaps in a workshop and try for tell them their some of their roles and responsibilities. Just a reminder, they know their role and responsibility, but just a reminder for them to work together with us for see how they drive the sick come out. So we're calling on to stakeholders for me then come in and help we, because we get we own constraints them.
Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
That's one of the community volunteers in respect of the fight against COVID-19 Western Area District. For IRN, Mina Simon Matia, the reports, and the work for Vopa Radio FM 96.5 Kisitown, Western Area District.
All right. Well, plenty thank you to Samuel Brema Matia, with the work for Vopa Radio na Watalo, where be they talk inside that interview day to one party well body workman them for the community health organization, where be they talk about them work. As we all know, the well body workman them done day before party fight against the COVID-19. And that's na Abdul Kabia, when the program coordinator for community health organization. We will talk to Samuel Matia. We will take this short break. We will come back and continue with the program.
The Independent Radio Network, IRN, don't team up king for Gud Mornin Salone and development. Brother, sister, mama, papa, brother, sister, mama, papa, The Independent Radio Network, where we they call IRN. The baton we country salon, for make we get level playground. Now I don't enough, for make you know about your country. They give voice to youth man them, they give voice to woman them, all political party them, right across the country. You go na the east, and you go na the west, you go na the north, and you go na the south, say yes to tolerance, we all get we rights. IRN say no to violence, no mix perfect like a blabber. But we all work together with one word, cause now so we go up for make salon. Brother, sister, mama, papa, brother, sister, mama, papa, and well-body business, quality education, decentralization, with agriculture and infrastructure, energy and power, with social welfare, for human rights, anything but development.
tell am for shame. Ebola don destroy ya, una tell am for we. Ebola don comot ya, corona don come for corona. Let we check am serious. Corona don come for corona. Omari no touch us, you no fit take. Corona don come for corona. Yani na me ni am take. Corona don come for corona. Fabula let we take picture. Corona don come for corona. We, it don come for corona. Corona don come for destroy we. It don come for kill. Me mama, me brother and sister.
The Independent Radio Network, IRN, don't team up King for Gud Mornin Salone and development. Brother, sister, mama, papa, una yeri yo. Brother, sister, mama, papa, una yeri yo. The Independent Radio Network.
Alright, so they continue with the special corona updates where they come to you from the Independence Radio Network, where make up of different radio stations them all over the country, wherever you there and also you dey listen to we hope say don't they get us so much information we get for do with the fight against the coronavirus and safe how you for go according to the precaution them where the well body will command them don't say we for do for make sure say we all join government for fight this pandemic. We dey continue with the program and we dey go down at the southern region. If una can remember this morning we'll start the morning segment. We will take different reports them na different parts them all over the country as we get reporter them where we don't they give you updates. Well now they go to the southern region. Also we'll talk to Abubakar Mustafa from Pujong district. We go tell we wetin be happen na the area yesterday as the country they under 3 days lockdown.
As yesterday na the second day for the national lockdown, well, the district Pujon AOC began for divide the district into zones. Yesterday, the district coordinator will make a visit now the other zone where they across the Moa, where share boundary with Liberia and of course some parts of Kenema district. Well, Mohammed Panak Batokemokai, now the district coordinator for the EOC. I began for ask him how yesterday when a day two may look like.
Well, basically yesterday when I've been day 2 of the lockdown, been look like this. First of all, we make up a coordinating team. We comprise of me as the district coordinator, the district medical officer, the district coordinator for Office of National Security, the district officer, the DO, and one senior officer from the council, and also the CO 14 Battalion, the LUC, the J Division Pujon, and the district chairman of the district council. Basically, now we make up this team and go round. We first start with Malin Chiefdom, where they share boundary with Bond districts. For ensure say we first of all get a first-hand information from the children stakeholders as how so far they don't go, and also get them challenges them and see how we're able to address them collectively. So upon completing the engagement in Malin, we also continue Nasoa Chiefdom, specifically Bontio, when I the inter-district checkpoints, entry Pujon district, and also leaving Pujon district to Bo. We also get a very fruitful engagement with the security apparatus at that point there, and also continue straight to Zimi Makwele. We also the share boundary with Kenema district and meet with the chiefdom stakeholders, basically for where we also get first-hand information, putting the challenges to them, and also make thinking of a way forward as how we will address all of the challenges them, given that we all need collective effort for help for law we win this fight. Like I always say, this is a fight that we must win, and we declare we always don't say we goal now for law Pujon be a zero zone for coronavirus. Upon completing the meeting na Makwele Chiefdom, we continue straight to the border. We're in Gendema. We also meet with the sub-command structure at that place there and participate in the evening meeting where we get fruitful deliberations with them, and we also put together some other measures them for help mount up the security and also the surveillance, so that we will continue for help for let Pujon be a zero zone for coronavirus.
So across the Moa, how compliance will look like yesterday when I day 2?
and compliance across the Moa and also across the other chiefdoms can be very, very high. The only thing will still remain as a challenge now the use of face masks in public. So down there now one of the key things they will find out, and we also see say some few areas and they will still they constrained with some hand washing stations where we think say we go liaise with development partners for see how go help for provider one day and then communities them.
So as a way of assessment for day 1 and day 2, wetin you go want for say how many percent you want for give the district, you as a coordinator?
As a way of assessment for day 1 and day 2, I think say we get a I'm well pleased that we get a district where very much cooperative for ensure say we continue for be a zero zone for coronavirus, and we get people and we're very much aware about the dangers of coronavirus and where they adhere to all of the government policies and measures them and where they comply with them as well. So they send this message out to them for say, Lord, we continue the good fight. It's not an easy one. We know say we in a difficult time, but Lord, we continue, and we also believe say even though in a difficult time, but we get a resilient district and we go do them together, and everyone in, no one out.
Well, everyone in, no one out in the district coordinator for Pujon District EOC. Currently, within a meeting for plan for day 3, we will be the final day for the national lockdown. Reporting for IRN, Abubakar Mustafa, na Pujon District.
Right, many thanks to Abubakar Mustafa. We give that report there, but waiting upon na Pujon district as the country still they under 3 days lockdown for make sure say well body will command them able for do proper surveillance and contact tracing as the virus don't reach that level where well body will command and say na community transmission.
All right, from Abubakar na Puja na the south, we dey come back na the north and go na Koinadugo. Usai Margaret Miso Mansare for Bintimani Radio go give you update about what happened yesterday.
Good morning to people away they listen me through IIM. Well, yesterday was the second day of the lockdown, and I be make a report concerning people away them get rid of during this lockdown. We beat the system all the way from Freetown to Koinadugu district, and as the reports, they don't get arrest of them people in there, and then they under quarantine center. Koinadugu get 4 people right now where they undergo quarantine, and 3 na man and 1 na woman. Well, the 2 people that we have been make reports of, like the EOC together with the well body people them, they don't do the investigation so far, and they understand say the one we carry this particular 2 people them inside Koinadugu district na a military somebody we attack na brigade na Makeni na 4 battalion, and instead and send them for make Ingukan guide one mining company inside the end chiefdom. And same way so they been get for carry the man at the police station and hand over the vehicle where in carry it, including 1 AK-47 where they hand over give the police until after in 14 days quarantine. But all them 4 people there so where they get rid of then come during this 3 days lockdown, and now that make the well body people and same way so tinapsganga one for say then surveillance all the one them where they come out different side them so that then go able for quarantine them and know their status before ever then go allow them for make them mix with people them. Well, the final day now when at today the expectation of people them now that the government for see how best and go try for adjust the curfew from that 6 o'clock. If in from 12 to 6 o'clock in the morning, he said them go be okay with that, say because plenty people get food stuff where in be said and they sell. But again, people in concern now for make them go strengthen this inter-district lockdown so that people then go they tap for come outside then they right now. For IRN, Mina Margaret Misoman Sari reports from Koinadugu district.
Right, okay, we continue with the program as we don't get updates from different districts them as to waiting they go on the still the country they under 3 days lockdown. If you listen to the program from any radio station we tune in, this is a special corona update where Sludge and Iron they bring come to you for second the 3 days lockdown where the country they under.
Oh yes, and we will continue for bring you more updates from the provinces and of course from the western rural and urban districts. This now Corona updates with Sludge and Aaron they bring come to you and will meet you from different radio stations right across Sierra Leone. Now we want for go na the east na Kenema as all right, I think say Khadija, we did get a slight change in what we want for do, and I just want to remind people and say any moment from now we go join live the daily Ministry of Information and Communications press conference, and we go bring on an update on the EOC their activity.
All
Khadija.
right. ABKB, I think before we go join the Ministry of Information during the EOC press briefing, what they can do every day, quickly they join Saiduba from Tonkolili. We go give you updates as they continue with the regional updates them for no, but team them where they happen there.
As today na the final day for the 3 days extensive national lockdown, live from Yile, Bonkolenken, Chiefdom, and all the other 3 chiefdoms them. Well, the major streets and even villages still they maintain their beautiful emptiness, meaning people comply strictly to the law and serve the dinner oaths. Nobody will not get any complaint from the security personnel as it be happening during the first 3 days lockdown. We even contact the region chief when Alhaji Mustafa Sise himself not get any complaint where they not go put forward to him. And it been so talk through the radio station na Yile say he not get for go any side because he want for exercise himself own role and pathway he get for play for Sise the compliance rate he get for be positive. Well, the task force then continue with the door-to-door sensitization where plenty people believe say now that's not increase the level of compliance within Yile and Bonkolenken chiefdom generally. Even though now then we get the first index case and even the second case from Tonkolili district, that all don't make the mindset of people well prepared. Where all man they on the alerts for CC, all man they watch in neighbor now. Make all man where they inside for continue for maintain and stay within the township and safe would I get stranger as them don't state them na the bylaw. Say anybody get stranger if we go report them to the chiefdom authorities through the task force where body authorities them go check the person. As far as we concern water business, when I be one major problem by the first 3 days lockdown, well, we not see no signs or symptoms of people for move up and down for go find water for even brook safe. From Yile, Ponkolenken, Mina Saiduba.
All right, plenty thank you to Saiduba for that report there where he sent for we from Tonkolili as we continue for take regional updates them from a reporter the way they all over the country for tell we how people done they during the 3 days lockdown where they carry on all over the country.
All right, we continue with more report them from the region. Khadija off mic could be just they say, oh, Saidoba, Tina, we all shall
I know you get so much energy.
I tell you, all right, thank you, Saidoba, for Radio Bonkolenke and we send that report there. So, from Tonkolili now, they go na Kenema. Usai Mohammed Saidu Jane go tell we what happened yesterday, na the second day inside the lockdown.
As at day 2 inside a 3 days lockdown, Kenema relatively calm and quiet, no comes to alarm, and people they adhere to the 3 days lockdown. As today, now the second day, and we tour the streets of Kenema for let we observe what are the challenges them where they go. But one for the electricity and one for say kudos to the people and where they in charge of the light. One for tell them plenty thank you as people be the grumble for this. If self then go give you light and water this 3 days lockdown, maybe then they go courage with small. But and Kenema relatively calm and peaceful. The dog also where now Mr. Conovan at the head don't get an emergency meeting for CC they respond to people then concern them. And one party concern them are like
the quarantine homes are not okay for people, and that people not for the fight the corona and end up forget other sick because of the nature of the quarantine homes. That self don't make Mr. Conover and the doc team don't get an emergency meeting as to how they go get a hotel where they go all the quarantine people them, the people them way there for quarantine day. That's if they don't do them, they don't get an hotel, and they don't make sure say all the primary and the secondary contact, including the case 4, all the primary and secondary contact of the case 4, even though the person way undertake this case 4 in operation, they don't find them positive, and presently a day on treatment. But that self don't warrant them for make them go in search of all the primary and the secondary contact where they don't take most of them na this hotel. But one very important development way don't come up now like that. The one foresee how them go engage the paramount chiefdom and the various chiefdom as to put an additional restriction. And what is if make they want to do this now because of the number of the cases them where they come up na Kenema. So therefore then don't decide for engage the paramount chiefdom and the section chiefdom so that they will get a bylaw on inter-chiefdom restriction. That is to say, nobody not for come out from this chiefdom to the other chiefdom for say then we all curtail this COVID-19. And the security, no problem. They provide the AIG, the hardworking AIG and the brigade commander, the Sierra Leone Correctional Services, the Sierra Leone Safety Corps, they all have put hands together and provide security for the people of Kenema. For IRN News, Mina Mohammed Saidu Janeh, the report from Kenema.
Well, plenty thanks to Mohammed Saidu Janeh from Kenema. From Kenema, we come back now Freetown as we go live now for the daily EOC press conference. Well, the live press conference, we not really know if we're able to get the link now, but all right, still a try for prepare for start the press conference. Well, Khadija, more reports. I think say we don't go right around the country, north, south, east, west of the country, and they just they show the merger is just to show the strength of Aaron and Sludge in making sure that they bring Salone people and the correct and real-time information. Now then kind important tell me where Salone people they want information.
And also AVK from the report and so far we don't listen to we don't come on at the region, it clearly they show say people and comply with the 3 days lockdown, and I hope say the well body will command they able to achieve some of the things that they want to do. They want to do contact tracing, up the game in terms of surveillance and other things them. As we then are us, don't not forget again for do some of the things them way the well body workman and say for the do wash you and regularly, not forget for wash you and make sure say you observe social distancing.
Yeah.
At this point all man they outside there not allow strangers, not allow nobody for gonna you host, and if safe after the lockdown where they end today at midnight, you know get business na streets not go there.
Yeah. If you don't really get business for good on that street.
Yeah.
Because some person go grab you worker for worker sake.
Exactly. Just sit outside there. If by all means you need for go out, mask up. Wear you mask, go do what you supposed for do. If you dey go na market safe or you go na supermarket or some places, make sure say you observe social distancing.
Very important.
Because as some of the hot spots then and they now market, saloons, supermarkets, because you don't know whether you go meet
and I think say the authorities and even I remember the Freetown City Council for also play some role. We members of markets we say like the end of court go na PZ, you see the way people in the cluster for the day. Sometimes you get remember say if we really they try for advice we say, because when you get in kind clustered environment then they now their side and they if the virus reach, they're not trouble. So, and I think so we for able for advice we say and try for make then crowd there with the can then place here. Let's try for be a bit orderly. It's difficult though because we remember how things they go and the size of the markets and the but now I think say we for go live.
Yeah, I see we put this and they make sign. We're already now for join the EOC daily press briefing where they can do every day for give updates on the coronavirus.
Spokesperson Mr. Solomon Jamil to give the status update for today.
Thank you, Harold. He's not only professor, but he's brigadier as well. So he's brigadier professor for the SAR with us. So we are in the third day of the nationwide stay at home, and for that we want to commend Sierra Leoneans generally. We tell all the family thank you because we're in the third day of the nationwide lockdown, and we know how important it is for make we sit on our oath, but make sure say we slow or stop the spread of coronavirus. And we believe say inside these 3 days, we don't do so many activities. We continue for the do with contact tracing. We continue for the do what we call the purposive testing, especially in the hotspots. And to our hotel with family there because of the cooperation we get. But we are, and we could not forget for the wash your hands regularly. We could not forget for the use of face masks. And we could not forget for the do with social distancing. And for who we get emergencies down the area, we not forget for call the number 117. If you call 117 and they're not a pick or they're not the answer or the line clog, we are continue for the make that call day. Or you can also look at the number they're waiting and we update and we press this is the old pool and see if you can able to reach any of those numbers. So we update for 5th day when at total cumulative confirmed positive cases 199. Total number of deaths, the one that we don't die, 11. Active new cases, 21. The case that we don't get from yesterday to today, now 21. Active cases at isolation centers, 145. Cumulative recoveries, the one that we done well, where we don't discharge from the treatment centers, 43. Number currently in quarantine, 1,401. Number discharged from quarantine, 1,732. This is the status update for this morning. And any other people who get, we sure say we will pass them on to family them anytime we will get them. Harold.
Thank you very much. We also don't get the district coordinator for Western area rural, Madam Miata for Western area urban, Western area urban, Madam Miata French, instead of journey. So we will start with the questions. Yes, any questions? Please put your mic on.
About the COVID-19, CAD3, how far and on regarding testing, regarding contact tracing, among other things. But as the technicians in the fix the sound, last year come with Cyril Django.
Yes,
Question how far on testing and contact tracing, no?
Yes.
Okay.
The other person, Lamana.
Yes, thank you very much, Harold. I want to ask again. Yesterday, the day before yesterday and yesterday, I asked about the president, and I was told he's not going to be tested because he's not showing signs and symptoms. Yesterday again, morning.
To fairly distribute the resources.
Yesterday again, I asked, and I was given same answer. So I want to know, I want to understand, Mr. Jamiru, you've spoken a lot about transparency and accountability in giving information to the public. I will assume the president did not request to be tested yesterday after the press conference. And I'm not sure we have that testing equipment that will be that quick to give the president his test results 5 hours after the press conference. We come to these briefings with information, we ask questions, they are either dismissed or we are not told of what is happening. The president is the president of Sierra Leone. If he is requested to be tested or he has been tested by protocol, the public needs to know. But twice I was told he's not going to be tested. My second question is, there has been a lot of issues with quarantine, a lot of concerns from the public and even influential people who are put in quarantine. Who should be held responsible? Yesterday, Mr. Jamiru, you have to be called for a case at Connaught of the medical officer who died. His wife was there. No one was in touch with her. I read the doctor's post and later I came and commended you for your intervention. Who should take responsibility? We speak about the same issues on a daily basis, every day, but there are people who are appointed to lead. Who should take responsibility or who is taking responsibility? Also, I want to know how many people, finally, my final question, I want to know how many people are in treatment facilities and how many people do we have in treatment facilities, in isolation facilities that are responding to the sickness, that are positive already? Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Labrana. Yes, any more questions?
Hello, this is Matthew.
Matthew, go ahead.
Yeah, just a brief comment. I would like to talk on a career. I realize some people they sending the feedback, and so I will suggest to the person where they control the Zoom, the person we call the meeting, the convener, for see if he can mute everybody else, except maybe somebody indicates they want to raise question or something like that. Because while Lamra be the talk or somebody else, they get some other feedback from other people then. So I will not seem to get the question clear. That's not one. The question now, they're just in line with the same issue around the quarantine homes. I mean, if we get people where they exhibit anxiety and fear and worry, we also know say it also they stimulate a medical condition. And so few weeks ago, Mr. Jamil will make mention of, organizations where they deal with psychosocial support will come alongside the response team for support. And I know clearly that, one or two of them, at least I know of some of the organizations, and we don't try to reach out for see what's in the areas for help. But the challenge is, where do you channel those requests? But definitely there is a need for psychosocial support, but where should the requests from organizations be channeled?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we'll take it.
All right, we'll take the responses. So first, let me respond to Labrana. Okay, thank you first of all, Labrana. Thank you, Matthew. And thank you to everybody who may wish to send comments and second. All right. So on the president's testing, we just want to establish that whether it was Brigadier Professor Fodisa or myself or any other person, the response that has been provided with respect to President Bio has never been out of order. Whether it's Brigadier Professor Fodisa or myself or any other person, I'm sure the EOC has spoken conclusively and instructively to what the protocol is regarding testing. So once there is a positive case, and the surveillance team, of course, whose core function is contact tracing, they do what they call the line testing. They categorize primary and secondary contacts, and for primary contacts, of course, you do the incubation period and they proceed to do the testing. As per the standard operating procedures, secondary contacts are not tested. That is the protocol. It is primary contacts that are tested. If secondary contacts show signs and symptoms, then that may trigger any testing. For President Bio, I'm sure it has been stated categorically that President Bio has never been a primary contact. He was a secondary contact, and he never showed any signs, he never showed any symptoms. when the question was directed, Brigadier spoke to the principal. And His Excellency the President, it pleased him, even though not being a primary contact, he opted for a test because he realized and recognized the huge controversy, the huge confusion, the clarion call around this. And as the nation's first gentleman and commander-in-chief, he opted. The same way he decided to go public on self-isolation. I'm sure he has shown that exemplary leadership, and the principle was spoken to. But now that President Bio was tested, and his test result has proven negative, that also is in the public domain. And His Excellency the President himself brought that into the public through his tweet. So he has said it. What more remarkable steps should he really demonstrate to convince Sierra Leoneans that he's a transparent person? And as an EOC Laman, I will have always said it, we'll continue to make sure that we put information into the public domain and everything that people should know about this, they know about this. And I think the facts around President Bio are there, they are clear. One, he went into self-isolation. Two, upon the completion of the incubation period, a test was conducted, and that is gone into public. He was never a primary contact. He was at all material times a secondary contact. He opted, the test proved negative, and the public has been duly informed about it. On the issue of who takes responsibility for quarantine, the EOC has a multi-pillar institutional framework. For me, we are in the communications and social mobilization pillar. You have Brigadier Professor Fodesa, who is in the technical pillar, where you have a lot of things on the complex areas, on testing, on case management, etc. We have people at different pillars. So indeed, we have persons who take responsibility for quarantine, and as an institution, we are fully aware of the challenges that have been attending to the rolling out of our quarantine management systems. As those concerns come up, we are in a position to address them. As you rightly said, and indeed I spoke to the doctor at Connaught, once I was alerted about the case, we made sure that we brought it to the attention of those whose business it is to respond to those calls, and I'm sure they responded to that call with speed and facility. We may be having challenges, yes, and that is the nature of the emergency. When in the United States, millions of people went unemployed because of the emergency, and government decided to roll out some compensation scheme to issue their checks. Hundreds of thousands could not access their checks because of systemic failure. These things happen not because we did not plan for them adequately, but it is the nature of the pandemic. It is the nature of the outbreak. It happens with so much force, with so much rapidity, with so much exponential. The nature is such exponential, the rise, that even when you plan, and even when you mobilize the best of your resources, they are never good enough to handle, because that is the nature of the disease. That is the nature of the spread. But we continue to look at those challenges as and when they emerge. And I'm sure the respective pillar heads, we are all concerned. We are all concerned about what happens in the quarantine system. We are all concerned about security. We are all concerned about contact tracing and testing. And as and when those challenges occur, as long as they fall within our competence and given the limited resources that we have, it is always our pleasure, and we owe Sierra Leoneans that duty to make sure that we respond to them. I don't know if Brigadier would wish to speak on to any of those issues.
But I think the ask of the number of patients who are at currently in treatment center, when we spoke to that, 145, and those that have recovered, 43.
Carol?
Yeah, okay, we will go to the next round of questions. Yema, can you just give the question?
Thank you, Harold. So I'll randomly go through the comments, questions, and recommendations. This is coming from Sheku Mahulo. He says, some family members hug their loved ones as soon as they recover from the virus. Don't you think that it may accidentally lead to another transfer or transmission if the person's clothes is not thoroughly disinfected? And this one is coming from Vicky Remo. She says, Mr. Jamiru, what you should say here is simple. The president chose to be tested to allay the fears of the public. Melvin's court says, if case 90 is not made public, then it is a clear intention for EOC to endanger our lives. If they have no identity of Christianity, then make it known to the public. Ibrahim Jakima says, Langana is not mandatory to test a secondary contact. Guy Cool says, I would advise that the panel answer each question asked instead of compounding them. They tend to forget some questions asked, and some are very important questions. This is coming from Kona Sebure Joanna. She says, I was made to understand that some public officials, especially in Bonn, are refusing to adhere to self-isolation and quarantine rules. What is the government doing to enforce that? Then we have several comments around the Madagascar medication. Thank you.
Okay, we'll take one hand of Joel. Yes, Joel?
Yeah, good morning. And me na Tambayopoy, I dey call from Makini. First of all, I want to tell you thank you for the efforts one they put every day for updates of everything that happen. But like the free concern I get every day when I can come and when I talk beautiful things, then a lot of things, and so when I get different response mechanism they when I get for the COVID, like when I get the treatment centers and when I get the contact tracer and the rest. But me not see effective coordination among this. Because there's a lot of gaps. If you look a lot of people then still they grumble now their quarantine homes and they say they lack certain facility. And just like what in Lamabi they talk just now, say the wife of the CHO where he died, they now the hospital, you know, because nobody will come in time. So I just suggest we're going to try for improve on our coordination, although I get the various structure there, but if they're not well coordinated, I believe say we now just go the effect, but we not the effect in vain. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay.
It is about the child TV. It's just a quick observation I made yesterday. I went all the way to the east. Most of the places, the police officers don't have phone to cross-check the passes, whether they are authentic. Around Calvaton, Wellington, Lane, going around that Movie Road.
Okay.
That is my observation.
Okay.
All right, gentlemen, and let's feel free to speak to. But I'm very much interested in the person who spoke about Madagascar. I think when we have calamities, and especially of the nature that we have in our hands, it also presents a breeding ground for opportunities. A few days ago, Brigadier Professor Fodisa, myself, and the coordinator, we entertained quite a handful of Sierra Leoneans who came here and they said to us, look, one of the things that has inspired us has to do with the shortage of hand sanitizers. So what can Sierra Leoneans do? We feel compelled that we, having examined the WHO guidelines on the necessary concoctions, we think as medicals, as chemists, we should be able to do something to complement. And we looked at the system, they did a short presentation, and we also learned about a Sierra Leonean who is looking at the hand washing machine. I'm sure he has tried his hand at a machine using some kind of a sensor. And there was another Sierra Leonean who did a presentation to us who said, look, we can do some of these PPEs here. So we think that Sierra Leoneans feel inspired. And I said this a short while ago at the 98.1 program. That's like Senegal. We heard about Senegal also trying to do some local testing kits. How far they have progressed with that, I'm not too sure. But what all of these are pointing to is the fact that even when we have calamities, when you know you are pushed to the wall and you know that there is the global scrambling for essential equipment and items, that should actually generate some inner inspiration within us. So we're calling on the Sierra Leoneans. This is not a fight for the government alone. If you have very bright ideas, smart ideas, innovative solutions that you think you have for some of the issues that are happening, please feel free to come on board and share those ideas with us, and let's see how we could get experts to guide and assist you so that we could all complement the process. So for me, I think I'm so thrilled about the
the homegrown solutions that could help us to fight COVID-19. Somebody will talk about security forces, they go some place that they way, people that they encounter difficulties in checkpoints, or sometimes security forces they not get gadgets and all. One, we know that this thing does spread all over the country. And with the inter-district lockdown we don't deploy security in different checkpoints. And even among all the checkpoints, there's some checkpoints we consider for this strategic checkpoint. So along that strategic checkpoints, with security forces deployed, and we believe the security forces that also they do a beautiful work, even though we recognize room there for improvement. We think they're also supposed for scale up, just the other possible. So here and there, challenges there, here and there. As and when we learn about them challenges, then and so as an institution, we try for provide responses. On the issue of coordination, from the person we call from McKinney, yes, as I say, the EOC are a multi-pillar organization. We get experts then, we get pillar leads, different areas that we look at. And there is coordination. But indeed, we not say because this is an emergency, sometimes things can happen where you don't anticipate, where you don't contemplate, and you therefore think quick for provide solutions. So in terms of coordination, yes, of course, we are hard at it. Where we are at this moment, we may not be 100%. It may not be a perfect system. Every system gets its own teething problems. But what thing they make will get better in the coming days, weeks, and months. And because we're able we're forthright enough to accept who said the mistakes they did, who will go for blame ourselves, we blame ourselves, who therefore take responsibility, but to believe say we improve on them as they get along. And the fact that you as member of the public, you look at their concerns as well and share them with me, I think say that way we expect. We want to take the opportunity to say thank you for that.
Yes, so maybe they talk about check and device.
Okay.
Yes.
No, we talk about okay. We don't talk to at the beginning. Who is this child is one? I think we should go around where the parents or family be involved. I think we speak to that particular. So we can give them advice possible and stay away, but we're not in the outside and go and begin up there. But we'll continue to give that advice to them when they actually stay away and just self-isolate for another 14 days. Because a lot they will not know what it is here. Naturally, we don't know a lot about the disease, so we'll just continue for tell people that be cautious. There is somebody talk about the bunch people they refuse quarantine and not visit and correct and not to notice it because all the one know don't identify as contacts, they don't quarantine them, and they abide by the quarantine rules they put in here.
Okay, and for the check-out, the check-in and the points them, not all side checkpoints and get what we call the check-out device. But the main strategic checkpoints and then get the check-out device where it's in a phone. If you give code, they will punch the code on the phone and then we'll see whether your information correct. But not to every police or any security officer will get strategic points and we then get the check-out device. There's one hand in the up. Matthew Boyman. Matthew Boyman. Yes, Matthew. Okay, well, you get.
Me hand up, I need to see me hand again.
Please hold on, Lamana.
Thank you very much, Harold. I want to Salone people and say I just go randomly through the text messages then. So not all texts I will read, but I see some people that they complain. But there's several texting. So we have a text from Ibrahim Jakima. He says there was an audio on social media yesterday about a suspected case in Bo at the police station, trying to call 117. Has the EOC been notified? Gandhi Kalon, do we have the facilities to do rapid testing, especially in areas reporting high case or perceived hotspots? And then there are several questions and comments about case 90, about that government should reveal the identity of case 90. Another one from Bion, can you please help us with data related to the number of primary and secondary contacts per person? And Samuel Senesi says, is there any information from the epidemiological model that you would like to share with the public? How far are we as a nation from the worst case? What projections have been deduced from I cannot read everything because of the model in terms of possible number of positive COVID-19 cases and death. Byron again, and this is a repetition. And Melvin Scott says, Lamana, there are 3 sets of categories under COVID-19 pandemic by EUC. The treatment centers, which are meant for confirmed positive cases, the quarantine center or homes, which are meant for primary contact of positive confirmed cases, and isolation centers or homes, which are meant for secondary contact of confirmed cases of volunteer isolations, due to many factors. This set of people are not tested after the 14 days isolation if they look healthy and show no signs of the symptoms, but can be tested if required by the isolators. And this is from Kamara Mohamed Bakar. It's in the best interest of the public if the government should put the case of the escaped suspects in order to track the results of at least 90. KK says, how does our current mortality rate per 100,000 compare to other African nations and global leaders?
Okay, just one now from Lamana, and then we can do the school.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Harold. I want to ask, by tomorrow, people will be going out again in the streets, and the president said data have shown that there is community transmission. Want to ask the Western urban coordinator, does the issue of people, gathering in marketplaces defeat the purpose of these 3 days lockdown, because by tomorrow they are out, and the president have been talking about community transmission, because these are community people will be going back in the market and also not doing social distancing as well. And finally, I want to ask, if we have a new district, I'm hearing of Palaba, I want to clarify that. And Mr. Jamiru, I'll say again, on the question I asked 2 days ago, I know, I understand, and I know the president did not ask to be tested yesterday. He must have asked to be tested day before yesterday or other days. So when I asked the day before yesterday, at least someone could have said the president have asked to be tested, or yesterday even, someone could have said, okay, the president have asked to be tested, is going to be tested. I understand the protocol. And my question was, as per protocol, was if he is going to be tested. But that was not said. So I still believe there was no transparency in answering to my question yesterday, and I hold on to that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Lamrana. But also, we have journalistic ethos. Journalists, when you ask questions and responses are provided, you should draw your inference. What you should not do is to make sure that you elicit what you want and think that it is your right, so that the responses are provided exactly as you want them to be. I mean, when you're doing journalism, it is your duty to ask and have responses. When you get responses, if you think what we are saying is not transparent enough, you make your inference. And mind you, when we are here and we hold public positions, we know the duty that we owe members of the public. The fact is essentially clear. The president did the test, and the outcome of that test has been made public. It is left with you now to make your own inference, that you asked a particular question on X day, and this was the response that I was providing. I asked the following day, this was the nature of the response I was providing. You make your own inference. As much as we expect Sierra Leoneans, as brilliant as we are, as peace-loving as we are, as smart as we are, we have no doubt that Sierra Leoneans are smart to draw conclusions and make their inferences. That is what we expect. But don't stick to something and think you should get it your own way. I don't think that is fair, and I don't think that is constructive and professional journalism. We have put it out, and it is in the public domain, and His Excellency the President has put it out on his own Twitter account. The fact is, the incubation period was exhausted, and His Excellency the President did the test. Is it material that you should know the specific time he did it? I don't think we should press on that, Labrana. You are a good journalist, but I don't think you should press on this one. I don't think really you have been fair enough on that one. Aaron.
Yes, there is a question answer about the marketplace and the combination and all. I don't know.
Well, the community of God, we actually the technical team met yesterday, and actually we have actually put the one picture together for the national coordinator to discuss with other the president and task force, making certain recommendations for workplace, marketplaces, etc., etc. So that is going to be submitted for consideration. And then the goal, I mean, whether we have been alerted about any case in Go, that we have not been alerted on that. Somebody also asked about rapid tests, whether we have rapid tests available in yes, there are rapid tests available, but at this stage, we do not recommend rapid tests because we started with rapid tests. We actually matched rapid test results against the PCR, which is the gold standard for now, and they gave us a lot of false positives. Because what the rapid test does, it tells you if you have been exposed to the virus. It does not tell you if you have active infection. So it is not diagnostic. It just tells you that you have been exposed to the virus. So we have rapid tests available, of course, but we are not using them at this stage for any diagnostics.
Okay, I would ask questions to just use the.
I ask about Falaba, please.
Let me just add that Falaba is one of those areas where we have the EOC decentralized as a district. We have a structure there, and our colleagues are working very hard there. I can tell you beyond without that up to yesterday, there is a quarantine establishment in Calabar, and they are 10 people in that particular quarantine.
Okay, yeah, questions?
Yes, questions from Hausa People Online Television.
All right. Well, from the everyday EOC press briefing, we come back now studios. Now we Radio Democracy Hub, now New Englandville. In case you just tune in, this now the special Corona update. West Large and Ireland they bring come to you for second the 3 days lockdown.
Essential recommend them like the security, the journalists, of course, the medical people, and they go see they move from one point to another. But for the entire township, everybody didn't host the streets and completely clean. We not get any report of any body where they arrest as a result of breaking the rules. The district EOC still they meet regularly, only that the challenge we then get, according to the district coordinator, Joseph N. Kendo, they say that funding, they don't identify a lot of strategies, issues, but funds not there for support them. So they appeal to people we come on Moyamba district for give support to the EOC in Moyamba district. Even recently, then gets cases of people that we escape from the quarantine home from Bonth, when our two councillors them, they be able to rush to the scene and carry them go back. But they don't quarantine people them. But the challenge we then get, how for sustain them people and do them quarantine. This is a very big problem to them, and so it's still an appeal that let them come to the aid for see how they go really support them quarantine homes today. Even it tell me say you don't get, they don't identify areas them in case there is an index case for the district. They don't identify two key areas them. One for the secretariat, one at the GTI, and then two now the Moyama Mini Stadium where they want consider for be the holding center in case there is an index case. They say, but they not get funds for really support and upgrade them place then they so still they make an appeal. Relatively Moyamba is quiet, everything they go on normally. Right, every wedding I host, things they go on quietly. Moyamba really comply according to waiting me move around and see. There is no case of arrest or whatever. So Moyamba district, mean Albert Dolinje, Iron Large.
All right, that's now Albert Ndolonje, where they report from Moyamba and they work for Radio Modka. Now Moyamba, they give you updates, but waiting to happen so far. na Moyamba district as the 3 days lockdown still dey continue. ABK.
All right. Yeah, thank you, Khadija. From Moyamba district, we sail to the Great Island Bonth, and now we go take report from Joseph Lamin. We go tell we waiting happen at the district.
Good morning, IRN, and good morning to listeners across the country. Well, today, we're at the last day of the 3 days nationwide lockdown inside Bonth district, according to the district coordinator of Diok, Joseph Moiboy Kamara. Diok therefore continue for the do effective surveillance and contact tracing activity. Then same way so for do stakeholders engagement, especially with the paramount chiefs them. With this go help them for make them establish a kind of community bylaws where go guide them for be conscious of strangers them way go they enter in and out of the chiefdoms after the lockdown. Diok Simusuga for continue for do the house-to-house community sensitization with the various mobilizers them where them be done train ahead of the 3 days lockdown, and then mobilizers they also be done go into the communities. Then they expect that some of them will come today after completion and then go reach every house within the districts. Effective use of face masks and hand washing therefore continue in every community within the district. Mr. Kamara be emphasized on the simulcast radio programming where the don't begin for do with the 4 radio stations them in the district, including Voice of Women, Jangi Radio in Perry, Bontiko, and this now with support from Sarah Rutai. Diok, Mr. Kamara emphasized say therefore work strongly with the Sierra Leone police and other relevant stakeholders them for be vigilant in effecting the curfew and the inter-district restriction, and encourage stakeholders then at the district for the continue for give them minimal support to the command center. With this one, I will make them able for support the quarantine homes them and the office as well for make it operate better one. Reporting for IRN and / Corona update from Bonth, Mina Joseph Lamin.
Well, plenty thanks to Joseph Lamin from Bonth, the island. We don't come back in the studio, and Tem don't reach now for make we actually say goodbye to Una as we usher in the other team we go take Una from 12 on to 4 this afternoon.
All right. I saw this segment go left you, and the next team go take you from 12 to 4. We producer them will be the part of this morning segment. Now Ishmael Saidu Kanu, Alex Lawrence Koma, and Asma James. The technical team now be Ahmed Tijan Davis, Wena DJ Ahmad, Franklin Pemagbi, and Usman Kamara. We will bring this segment of the program Corona Special Updates this morning. Mina Khadija Bangura.
And Mina Abubakar Kanu, they say stay safe, go by the Tindem, where the EOC people and say we for do, for let we stay safe from this virus here. So, when I take care of ourselves, we go see you next time. Hopefully, we not go get another lockdown for Council begin and talk tonight. All that they go only happen if we do the right thing them. We government say for do. The executive producer, I see it to me, your mask is so unique. Thank you very much, sir. I think say this is one who advertised Dr. Francis Soa. Alright, it's still a point to me. When I take care, allow do the thing them way we for do so that this sick go come out now this country as well. Mina Abubakar Kano, goodbye.
I am say yes to tolerance. We all get we rights. I am say no to violence. No mix perfect like a blabber. But we all work together with one word. Cause now so we go help from make salon.